Hermitage got a crash blocking the right lane. 40 westbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. In Tusculum, a crash with injury. Nolensville Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. We've got the usual slowdowns building in the usual places, particularly heavy if you're westbound 24 over on the East Loop. And then eastbound 440, you get a lot of brake tapping over there to 24. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Pleased you've decided to join us on this Wednesday edition, February the 11th, 2026. Hello, how are you? Good afternoon. I hope you spend the next 4 hours with us. That's the allotment of time that we'll have until 7 o'clock tonight, or they kick us off the radio, whichever comes first. Easy for me to say. It's episode 975 of our visits together. It is day 388 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. He has 1,460.5 in total, and we're on day 388 today. We do that just to tick the liberals off and to keep them off their game. We've lots to discuss today. I hope you're a part of it. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Thank you for spending a bit of time with us. Speaking of people who spend a bit of time with us, there's young Jackson Williams. He's behind the glass making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. Good afternoon, Jackson.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Ready to curl tomorrow?
I am ready to curl. What about you?
I'm going to whoop you.
Well, I'm going to curl up in a fetal position and complain about my back. Ken Weaver will be out there curling at T-Line tomorrow afternoon and doing some news. What's going on, Weaves?
Can you really whoop somebody at curling?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
Depends on the score, I guess.
I don't really understand the scoring. Have y'all watched any of this?
Are you supposed to knock people out of your way?
Yeah, there's some knocking out of the way. There's a little bit of that. You know that bocce ball stuff?
Yes.
It feels like there's a little of that going on.
Right.
There's some bocce ball going on, and there's there's defense that I don't understand it, but I especially don't understand the scoring. Because at the end of the rounds or whatever they call it, then, and I feel like people scored some points and then, they got a point. And then now it's 1-0. And I don't understand any of it. We'll find out tomorrow.
Let's just let's roll one of those down as hard as we can and see what happens.
Yeah, my goal is going to be to take my stone, and slide my stone as fast as possible toward all of the other stones down there and see how many I can knock off the thing. And then see what happens. And maybe I'll get a point, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be DQ'd. Who knows?
Well, it's going to make the sweeper move really fast.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how fast Jackson Williams, Jay Willie, can move if I slung a stone his way.
I bet your brother Jackson probably like cat-like moves.
Pretty quick, quicker than you.
Jumps right out of the way.
Quicker than me. That's big talk.
You'll see tomorrow.
That's bawdy talk. That's big talk. Well, we will see tomorrow. We will. We invite you guys to come out. T-Line. You said it was 13 full minutes from this radio station to T-Line? That's about right?
Yeah.
Do we have directions? Do we have an address?
Just put T-Line into your phone.
TEE, right?
Yes.
TEE line, and you can find us. Come on out and see us. $25, I think, gets you an appetizer and some 30 minutes of curling lessons.
There it is, T-Line Nashville.
There it is. Ken Weaver's got it.
Looks like it's over there in West Nashville, I think.
I have sad news to report for those of a certain age that enjoyed programming Varsity Blues is one of the shows that movies that this fellow was in.
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek. James Vanderbeek best known for his starring role in Dawson Creek and his starring role in Varsity Blues, has died after a diagnosis of stage 3 colorectal cancer. He's 48 years of age.
That's young.
That is insanely young. And I am loath to do this, but I know he's listening right now, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. I got a colorectal screening, a colonoscopy, at the age of 47 because I had cancer I have cancer in my family. I did not directly have colorectal cancer in my family.
Yes, sir.
But I went ahead and I felt like, number one, I wanted to disabuse the listening audience of the notion that this was any big deal. And oh, by the way, it's not a big deal. It isn't. Yes, you have to take the stuff, and yes, it's going to flush you out, and yes, you'll have, Montezuma's revenge for 24 hours, and that's the worst part of it. And then you go into the doctor's office early in the morning, and they put you to sleep. They make you go night-night, and you wake up, and it's all over, and you feel a little bit gassy, and you get to go have food because you haven't been able to eat anything over the last 24 hours, and that's about it. And then you get your report. When I got my report, I had 9 polyps. All of them were benign, thankfully. And I was told that I did not have to come back in for another, I guess it was 5 years. No, they actually said 55, so it was 7.5 years. We have people on our staff that need to have their colonoscopies scheduled.
Mine's coming up in June.
You ready to go, Ken?
I am.
You doing it?
I am doing it.
Good for you, brother. We need to get Nashville's morning news on the schedule. I worry about Dan Mandis. He's never had a colonoscopy, and he's of an age he needs to have a colonoscopy.
Well, and by the way, they did change the guidelines. They now recommend 45 and over getting a colonoscopy because so many younger people, like Mr. Vanderbeek here, are coming down with it.
So James Vanderbeek, discovered that he had colorectal cancer, obviously too late, and he has now passed away at the age of 48. And so I just, y'all, if you're over let's say 50, Ken says 45, and I trust that too, but certainly if you are 50 and over, you need to go and do this. Colorectal cancer is largely completely avoidable. Completely avoidable. Much like pancreatic, it's completely avoidable with proper testing. Have I ever told y'all the story about the anal mast? I think I have. My grandfather got a colonoscopy, had not had one, and he was having trouble going to the bathroom. And my grandfather, late in his life, had a lot of trouble hearing. As loud as I am, I could just yell at him. It was the funniest thing you've ever seen. I should have videoed it. Me trying to talk to my grandpa on the phone. Pa! And he couldn't understand a damn thing I was saying. And my family took him to the colonoscopy, and then I went over there. I took him, but then he didn't get all of the report back until later on, and he called me with the report, and he goes, yeah, they said I had a mast. And I said, sir? Because they told me I had an anal mast. And I said, Pa, do you mean mass? He goes, no, mast. Like a little pirate ship hanging out of there. Like a little butt pirate.
Right.
Right there in his.
Got a big old pole.
Yeah, right there in the canal. Yeah. So I said, well, did they get it? Oh, yeah, they got the mast. Well, good. That's good. Good that you no longer have a mast down there. Good for you, Pa.
An ass pirate.
Pa, he was being attacked. They were trying to board the ship. And old Black Bart was trying to.
Oh, Black Butt.
Was trying to get up there and show off his cannons or whatnot.
Steal the booty.
Trying to steal his booty. What do you call a hitman with 2 butts? An assassin. That's funny. That's funny, 0336. And 6413 says, go on to another subject, good grief. Why would you want me to do that? 6413. I mean, I mean, in all seriousness, we're talking about an actor that everyone knows, or at least most people that pay attention to these types of things are aware of, who is dead at the age of 48 and entirely, well, I wouldn't say preventable in his case, because who would have anticipated that you would have the symptoms or actual colorectal cancer at that age? But friends, if you're shying away from a conversation about a colonoscopy, that's on you. Because these are preventable events, and it is a selfish thing that you're doing. And I'm just going to go ahead and call it out. And I'm not saying names, but if you are putting off getting a colonoscopy because you're worried about it, or you don't like the idea of people messing around down there, or whatever, you are engaged in a completely selfish act. Because there are people that love you. There are people that care about you. There are people that want you to be around as long as you can be. And the possibility is far from zero that if you don't do anything about it, that you're going to develop polyps. And if you develop polyps, some of those polyps could be malignant. And if those polyps are malignant, they will turn into colorectal cancer. So, no, I'm not going on to a different subject until I completely I just want to wipe this one out completely.
Yeah, and they take care of the polyps right there during the...
Oh, yeah, they snip them.
Yeah.
Give them a little snippy snip. They got little snips. They got a camera and snips. And if you want to see the photo, they sent me the photos.
I had to have surgery after mine. It was really weird.
What?
I didn't have any polyps but one.
Uh-oh.
And it was where my appendix had been.
Oh, no.
You don't have an appendix, Kim?
I do not have an appendix.
I don't either.
That's a story for another day. But anyway, the surgeon said it's probably nothing, but it's in a place where if it is to get bigger, we're going to have to take that part of your colon out, risking the bag.
Yeah, no, we can't do all that.
I said, take it out.
Let's go.
Get it out.
Let's make it happen. Let's go. Your appendix story?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a stomach ache for a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
Thought it was just gas.
Uh-huh.
So then one day it got really, really bad. I stayed home from work. I was 19. And a buddy of mine came over, who I worked with at the station. He came over and he took one look at me. He said, Weaver, he said, we're going to the hospital. Went to the hospital. I get in there in the emergency room. They said, you're going into surgery right now. It had burst.
Ken, have we never talked about this?
No.
You and I?
No.
My appendix burst.
Yeah, it burst. I was in the hospital for 7 days.
How old were you?
19.
I was 9.
It would have killed me.
Yeah.
I could have been dead
yeah.
at 19.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I similar story, much younger age, obviously. A lot of pain. And we went to, and I'll never forgive these people. We went to McDuffie County Hospital, and my grandmother took me in, and they examined me, and they said, we think he has a cold, but we think that his midsection, that's just gas. And they gave me some medicine for gas, and they said, we think he's constipated. He just needs to get all of that out of him, and the gas is backing up on him. Mm-hmm. And I went home, and I got a fever that night, and my fever got up to about 101. And best thing, my stepfather, I didn't live with my stepfather at the time because of issues, but I was staying with my grandparents. My grandmother talked to my mama, and my stepfather got on the phone. His appendix had burst when he was a kid, and he asked her a couple of questions, and he told Mama, get in the car. We're taking him to the hospital, to Augusta, which is about 35 miles away. Mm-hmm. And I got into the car, and about 10 miles down the road, my appendix burst.
Yep.
And I don't really remember anything after that. But I remember when it burst.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I couldn't breathe.
Oh, it was awful.
It hurt so bad.
It was awful.
But I was just going to go to bed and just see if it
And you could have died. You would have died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all got to be careful with your health.
Especially that appendix.
Yeah, that thing.
Because it's really weird. It started like kind of up toward my chest, which made me think it was just gas. Mm-hmm. But then after about 2.5, until the day my buddy came over, it had localized. And, I mean, it was right down there in that corner. And then later that day, man, it hurt so freaking bad. Like I said, I couldn't even take a full breath.
No doubt.
It hurt so bad.
I remember, I mean, I was 9, so I don't have that many memories after the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. I know that. I mean, I was in the hospital for a good time. And it was the only movie my mama ever took me to see. My mother asked me what I wanted to do after I got out of the hospital, and I told her I wanted to go see Return of the Jedi.
Yes, sir.
And so she took me to see Return of the Jedi.
Yes, sir.
How about that? Well, that's incredible. Y'all watch your health. And friends, just colorectal cancer is a serious thing, and colonoscopies are not. Okay? They're not.
And most insurance companies, it's preventive, so it's 100% covered.
Yeah.
Just check with your provider.
There you go. That's the medical advice from Ken Weaver, Matt Murphy, and Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll talk to Craig and Chris perhaps about this subject in just a moment. We've got other subjects to get into, to include a conversation that you will not hear on the mainstream media networks, at least ABC, NBC, CBS, the non-Fox networks, certainly not #NeverCNN, and that is the incredible jobs report that was much better than anticipated for the month of January. It was a little bit delayed because of that partial government shutdown. We'll talk about it on the Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about your health. I want to talk to you about your weight. If you've been frustrated with trying to lose weight and you've not been able to do so, if you're frustrated with your body after the holidays and you've not been able to get off the weight in January, maybe you've just reached that certain age where it's a little bit tougher. Our friends at Contours LLC have an incredible opportunity for you. It's red light technology, the perfect solution to get rid of that stubborn fat in places where you're trying to get rid of it. And they're running a number of specials, including the Murph. Ask them about the Murph when you stop in and say hello to them, or give them a telephone call. Now, the Belly Buster special is a $99 special. That means for your first treatment, $99. And if they don't take over 2 inches off of your midsection, that treatment is absolutely free. It's safe. It's painless. It's effective. It works. It's Contours LLC. Call 615-236-9960. Ask about the Murph when you call. 615-236-9960 or online at contoursllc.com. That's contoursllc.com. What do you have to lose but inches?
Hear the tension between Attorney General Pam Bondi and some members of the House Judiciary Committee over the Epstein files today, coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, the medical side of things. We're covering all of that for you. We'll get to the jobs report coming up in just a couple of minutes, and we'll get to the Epstein conversation. Obviously, Pam Bondi was appearing before a House committee today and had a few things to say. Plus, speaking of the House of Representatives, Representative Andy Ogles has a few things to say. He wants to waste your taxpayer dollars investigating the Super Bowl halftime show. Andy, boy, let me tell you, I don't know of a representative, and I know Andy. Andy and I have talked. We talk on the radio, yada, yada, yada. I do not know of a politician that can jump in front of a parade better than Andy Ogles. I mean, my God. Oh, there's people marching down the street. Let me just get this baton and jump in front of it and act like I'm leading it. And it's stupid. What he's doing is stupid. And it's big government. It's not conservative. And, I'm not calling him stupid. I'm not trying to make an enemy out of him again. Y'all know that Andy and I have had a on-again, off-again bromance. But this is just dumb. Why do we need the government to intervene on what is a private venture ultimately? And no one is forcing you to watch anything. Anyway, a little salty about it. Craig is first up on the Matt Murphy Show today. Hey, Craig.
Yes, hello. I think all of your listeners know the importance of getting a colonoscopy. Nowadays, I'll tell you what happened. My sister, her husband, they wanted him to do what you do the little test and you send it in. Well, he kept putting it off, and he had to go up there and have the colonoscopy, and then it wound up being $700 out of pocket. So when you get the chance to do it, when you just send the test up there, that is the way to go. Also, people worry about drinking that stuff. But listen, I find that people, after they drink the stuff, they feel the best they've ever felt in their life, even before they take the test. And so I actually drink a bottle of that stuff every month, and that's why you keep your system clean. Listen, two friends of mine.
Little colon blow. Yeah, sure.
Yep. Listen, two friends just recently had a blockage, got septic, had to have colonoscopy. Both of them at the same time for some coincidence, and they just got it. All the pipes hooked back up, and it looks like it was a tape. But so, all this is serious stuff,
Oh, yeah. No, obviously it is common sense in this day and age that someone of a certain age would go ahead and schedule their colonoscopy to make sure that everything's A-okay. Male, female, does not matter. If you know someone in your life that's over the age of 50 that seems to be shying away from it, Dan Manis, then you need to, if you love them, Dan Manis, you need to encourage them to go ahead and get their colonoscopy scheduled, because once you reach a certain age, 58, Dan Manis, then it's important that these things get done. Because, and I say that not to shame anyone, Dan Manis, or point fingers. I say that because I love them and I want them to be okay. And in the unlikely event that something's going on, early detection is key. If you catch it early, if you catch a polyp early, even if it's malignant, you snip that thing, you're all good. No worries. But if it stays there and it grows there and it spreads there, then before you know it, stage 2, stage 3 colorectal cancer. And now you got serious issues. I love each and every one of you. Want you to be healthy and safe. Want you to live a long, healthy life. 31 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. In our nation's capital, tensions flare between Attorney General Pam Bondi and some members of the House Judiciary Committee today during a hearing when questions about the Epstein files came up.
I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein files.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe
ABC's Jay O'Brien says this was an exchange between Bondi and committee member Ted Lieu of California.
He put a picture of former Prince Andrew on the screen, and he asked, why hasn't former Prince Andrew been indicted or investigated by this Department of Justice? And Bondi hit back saying, why didn't you ask Merrick Garland that question? And Lieu's response there was notable. He said, I'm going to read directly from it, quote, Merrick Garland dropped the ball. But then he said to Attorney General Pam Bondi that she could change that because she is in charge now.
Air travel in El Paso was thrown into chaos after the FAA announced a 10-day shutdown of local airspace late yesterday. The agency then reversed course hours later, reopening the airspace, assuring the public there was no ongoing danger. A Trump administration official said Mexican cartel drones had breached U.S. airspace before being neutralized. Local lawmakers criticized the lack of communication, calling the abrupt shutdown unprecedented. Investigators in Arizona back to square one after a person of interest was detained and then let go in the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. Meanwhile, TMZ reporting a new message demanding Bitcoin for information on the person seen in the video released yesterday. And here in Nashville, Channel 4's Braden Ross breaks down last night's Metro Council committee meeting on the NES response to the winter storm.
Tuesday night, Metro Council members questioned leaders from several departments, the Office of Emergency Management, Metro Water Services, and DOT, but it was representatives from NES that spent the most time in the hot seat.
We did not meet the expectations of our customers.
They fielded questions about everything from staffing.
We are going to make sure that we have additional contracts lined up.
To supporting people with critical care needs.
There were several nursing homes that weren't in our list.
To tree trimming.
We did not do specific actions through leading up to this storm, but I think absolutely as we learned from this, a commitment to every action leading into this type of an event, you will see us make those.
As far as removing NES leadership, Mayor Freddie O'Connell says he doesn't have the legal authority, but he does say a unanimous vote of the Metro Council can remove board members. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Seeing complete stop-and-go traffic westbound 40 between the eastern split and downtown, both directions of 40 between 65 and 40 over there on the west side, and then eastbound 440 over to 24, usual for this time of day. Now, we do have a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane of 24 eastbound just past Waldron Road in Laverne, and in Hermitage, a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 40 eastbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Uber Eats. Nashville, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Steam Boys. From now to March 1st, get a buy one, get one free deal on pan-seared dumplings on the app. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
From the Beacon Capital Management Weather Center.
I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Melanie Layden. After a record-breaker high temperature of 77 degrees yesterday, we are back in the We will see a nice mix of sunshine and clouds, though, but plan on the 50s to stick around the rest of this week and into the weekend. If you have Valentine's Day plans, heads up, we are expecting rain showers to move in Saturday and last into Sunday.
Friends at Eurofix, they pay their mechanics more than any of the other auto repair shops around, but they still keep their overhead low enough to charge you less than the dealerships do. Eurofix does this. A decent tech makes, 50 to 60 grand a year. They pay their techs far more than that at Eurofix because Aaron Stokes, as an ex-mechanic, understands how you attract the best and the brightest mechanics around. It's what makes the world go round. Everything out there has to be worked on. Eurofix is not open on the weekends because they respect their mechanics in that way as well. Aaron Stokes figured out a long time ago that if you make the mechanics happy, then your automobile is happy. If your automobile is happy, then the customer is happy, and that is the way they do it at Eurofix. 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all of the repairs that they perform, plus rental cars available with every appointment. 5 separate locations for well over a quarter century. They've been doing this the right way at Eurofix. Call them today at 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX. Or visit them online at myEurofix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Before we get back into your telephone calls, I'd love to hear from you. 615-737-9986. I want to check in on this guy. Lenny McGill is our man over at the Glock store. And, you know, just like the most of you in and around the Nashville area, they had some power issues last week. We wanted to check in and make sure everything's A-OK. What is going on, Lenny?
Hello, Matt. Well, yes, you are correct. We are, of course, just about 2 miles from the airport, and we lost power on Saturday night, the 24th, and we're out of power for 10 days. So the store was closed. We couldn't ship. We couldn't manufacture. We couldn't do anything. And, I know a lot of people suffered, so, we suffered along with them, but we made a lot of phone calls, and we finally got power back up last Wednesday.
Oh, well, no, that's good news. And I know I hate it. I hate it for your business. I hate it for all of the businesses that lost power. I hate it for all of the customers of NES that lost power. One of the reasons that we've been focusing, like we have in the afternoon hours and on Super Talk generally on these issues is because so many folks were harmed by this in various different ways. But I'm so glad that everything's back up and running. I got to ask you, though, Lenny, have you tried these Gen 6s yet? I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I just did a big video, disassembly, reassembly. It's on our YouTube channel, and it is amazing. It's new. They've added a lot of things that we used to do for some of our custom guns that we build.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's a Glock, and it's very reliable, and that's what they're known for. But that they have done is they've made the grip a little bit better. They've improved some of the controls. Overall, it's basically just an improved Glock. It's just really their next level. And we literally just got 75 of them in yesterday for the Glock 19 Gen 6. And I've allocated 30 of them for our retail customers. That's one of the reasons I want to come on and let everybody know that we have them. And they're going to go quick because they're very rare. They're still hard to get.
Well, and this is the cool aspect of what you guys do at the Glock store, right? Because you do so much customization. And I promise, Glock notices. I mean, Glock understands what the customers are wanting. And you have so many customers come into your doors that ask for these types of various customized features on their Glock. And then Glock, in turn, hears all that in your store, nationwide, worldwide. And then they respond when they come out with the next generation of Glock.
Well, that's exactly what happened, I think. We have a pretty good relationship with Glock. They definitely pay attention to what we're doing. And we've got a good ear to the customer base. We're in there. We're not sitting up there in a ivory tower. We are on the ground floor with our customers, and we've got people coming in. This week we have this Saturday we have a USPSA match, which is a competition shooting match, and it's really fun. People get to shoot at multiple targets in multiple directions. It's kind of a timed and scored event. We get some really great shooters, and we get some people who are just brand new who have never shot before and want to try to see how good you can be with a firearm. It's really amazing when you see what these guys can do, and it's a fun event. So it's that Saturday. We do it the second Saturday of every month. So we've got about 100 people coming in, and it's open to the public. So if you want to come on down.
Oh, see how you get the real deal coming through your doors when you have these competitions, right? I mean, these guys. I mean, I think I'm not the best in the world, but I'm a decent shot, Lenny. But these people, oh man, these guys and gals, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's just like anything else. When it's a tool you practice with, and that's what these matches really are about. There's people watching you, so there's a nervous factor there that kind of puts you in a different state from shooting, and you learn about yourself. What can you do? Mm-hmm. How can I improve? How can I get better? I can see that guy doing that. I could probably do that if I tried. A lot of people don't know that you can shoot really fast and be accurate. They just don't know because they've never seen it.
Right.
But you can literally shoot 2 shots in less than a second and have them right in the same hole.
I love it. Practice. I love it. So that's this Saturday, you say?
Yeah, Saturday. It's always the second Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And so that's here at the Glock store. Like I said, we're 2 miles from the airport, so we're up here on Air Lane Drive. We've got those. I guess I also want to let people know, whoever drove up to the store, and there were a lot of people over those 10 days. And I was there, accepting packages from UPS and FedEx and all that. But they would drive up and I'd say, we're closed. I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you for making the effort. And, we are open and we want to let everybody know that, hey, we're back. It was just temporary. But, and the other thing, too, I think people don't necessarily know, because there's a retail side to it, but there's also a manufacturing side that we have. We have 100 people there. We make pieces and parts right here in Nashville out of steel. We have CNC machine shop. We make holsters. In fact, I'm looking for another holster person right now because we're selling so many holsters we can't keep up. So we manufacture, and we're employing 100 people, and we kept all those people on the payroll through that 10-day period.
One, that's awesome that you guys kept up the payroll and did that. Number two, y'all heard him. Lenny McGill's looking for a holster guy. So if you're a holster guy or a holster guy or gal, you need to get over to the Glock store and talk to him about that. And number three, the big takeaway is that you say you have 30 of the Gen 6s, the Gen 6, the 19s in stock right now.
Yes, yeah, the 19 is the most popular handgun in America, and it's kind of the carry gun, and it's a good shooter and all that other stuff. But we have those available for our retail people, and I know they're going to sell quickly because they are.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They are today.
And if you run in and you yell Matt Murphy really, really loudly, it's my understanding you get a free magazine. Particularly if you're pre-ordering. I mean, I know on the pre-orders you can do that. I don't know.
You know what? If they yell Matt Murphy, we will give them a free Gen 5 magazine.
I love
Gen 5, Gen 6 magazine.
How
about that?
I love
it. We love your audience. You guys are great. And,
yeah.
It's funny. I do want to say this is, I scroll through Instagram like all of us do. And oftentimes there's one that I really like, and I look down and you've already liked it.
We run in the same circles.
Matt Murphy. Yeah, the real Matt Murphy.
Oh, I love it. But Lenny, man, we love what you guys do over there. I'm sorry about the power thing, but I'm glad it's back up. I mean, there's very little that you don't control in your world at the Glock store, and I guess electricity is one of those things. But I'm glad you guys are back up and running. For folks who came by last week, go by again, talk to them about the Gen 6, go to the shooting rooms and check all of that out, and say hey to Lenny.
Yeah,
and the
you know what? And I'm inviting you to come back. You need some more training.
I know. I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and I'll see you soon.
And I know you moved down to Mount Pleasant, and I've got a farm down there that we have a shooting range on as well. It's it's pretty cool. So someday maybe we can meet over there.
You and I need to do a little talking about that there, Lenny.
Yeah, you should. Because I'm just in Hampshire, which is right around the corner from Mount Pleasant.
I know. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, I didn't realize you were. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a done deal, brother. That's a done deal.
Yeah, it's that close, and it's on Biffle Lane. So.
Well, Lenny, thank you for all you do at the Glock store, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, man. Yeah. All right, take care. There's Lenny McGill, Glock store, calling us up. Yeah, they lost. I mean, like most of Nashville, I mean, they're not immune to that. They lost power for a number of days. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew that they were back up and running. Speaking of up and running, Craig wants to talk colonoscopies. Hey, Craig.
Yes, sir. I called in a while ago. I talked about everything, but when I told y'all I was going to talk about.
Oh, this is the Craig that just called me.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Sir. I
yeah.
talked about thing.
All right.
What I was going to talk about, the colonoscopy I got last week. If you're a veteran, we get all our procedures done in Nashville, but most of the time, all the time, I get everything done at the VA in Murfreesboro. I just want to tell you, when you get to the Nashville VA, it's a little bit more hectic, a little bit more high moving, but they are just so wonderful. But what I want to say is, it is. You'll be so glad you got it done. They said come back in 10 years. I got a good checkup. But they said while I was under, I talked about some scrambled eggs or something, so I was hungry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was hungry too. I mean, there's no question about it that the lack of an ability to eat for that amount of time. I mean, look, it's 12 hours of suck for the next 5 years of peace of mind. That's what I would tell to anybody. Craig, thank you for the call. Craig violated rule number 1, but that's okay. You know what rule number 1 is, right, Jax?
Don't bleep it up?
No, call only once per day.
Oh. I was taught a different rule number 1.
Rule number 1 is call only once per day. Rule number 2 is don't be boring. Rule number 3 is don't read to me. And that's kind of a subsection of rule number 2, because if you start reading to me, that's boring.
Don't we all read to each other during nincompoops?
No, but I mean, we're not subject to the rules of the callers. These are caller rules, Jackson.
Oh.
You are expected to present in such a way that is entertaining to the general audience. And every once in a while, you do it. Every once in a while. That story yesterday, that was a crazy one. And I'm very, very frustrated about yesterday's story because I had yesterday's story and I forgot about it. And, live and learn. 48 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Okay, so Congressman Andy Ogles, I don't take any of this personally. These politicians seem to. And it has become increasingly obvious to me that certain politicians only want to speak before their constituents when it's a storyline that is, generally speaking, positive, and they're going to get positive coverage for that. And sometimes I feel like Andy is one of those guys. Andy Ogles sent a letter to the chairman of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce calling for an investigation, a congressional investigation into the Apple Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show, which featured artist Bad Bunny. Representative Ogles alleged that the broadcast included explicit and indecent content inappropriate for a primetime family audience. In the letter, which was sent to committee chairman Brett Guthrie, Republican, Kentucky, he sent this out yesterday, I guess it was, or day before. He argued that the halftime show, which aired live on NBC Universal during Sunday's Super Bowl, violated long-standing broadcast decency standards and raised questions about the NFL and the network's internal review and approval processes. I'm going to read you portions of this letter because I think it's just that important. Dear Chairman Guthrie, I write to request that you open a formal congressional inquiry consistent with the committee's jurisdiction over broadcast regulation and FCC oversight into the National Football League and NBC Universal regarding their prior knowledge, review, and approval of explicit and indecent content broadcast during the Apple Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show, February the 8th, 2026. The halftime performance, headlined by Bad Bunny, was aired live during primetime hours on over-the-air television and viewed by tens of millions of Americans, including a substantial number of children and families. The Super Bowl is consistently the largest family viewing event in American media. As such, broadcasters bear a heightened responsibility to ensure that programming aired during this uniquely national event complies with longstanding broadcast decency expectations and serves the public interest. The performance included songs such as, I don't know the name, Safaria, a track widely known for explicit sexual references and graphic lyrical content, including references to, well, I'm not saying that. I'll get in trouble. Andy Ogles will be reviewing us. Can I say analingus? Can I say that? I just did. Analingus? What is that?
What is? Type it into the computer.
I most certainly will not.
Ken?
I just do the news, boys.
Sexual intercourse and other explicit things. So apparently this has been a thing where people have been posting the lyrics of these songs. I don't know. I didn't watch the thing, and I would encourage you that if you don't care for this type of material, then you don't watch it either. Why is Andy getting the government involved in this? I mean, aren't we small government people? I mean, do we want the government involved in this? Do you want the government micromanaging? Has Andy Ogles watched television recently? Has he watched a Nashville 911 recently? Has he watched any of the programming that airs regularly on broadcast television recently? All of it needs to be shut down, Andy. If you're shutting this down, you need to shut it all down, brother.
Hey, don't take away the rookie.
I'm just telling you. All that nasty language and sexual innuendo and violence. Let's shut it all down. Or maybe act like a small government conservative and stop trying to jump in front of parades. This is silly. I know what what do you want? Do you want the government to monitor content to make it consistent with the content that you individually approve of? Because some people wouldn't approve of content that Andy Ogles might approve of. Some people wouldn't approve of content that Matt Murphy would approve of. So do those people, do they rise above your desires to see the content and we limit the content availability because those people perhaps are offended by it? You don't have the right to not be offended in the United States of America. And frankly, I understand why, as an intrusive medium, the suggestion might be that you should have the government limit this type of thing. They've been trying to do this on broadcast radio for years. And broadcast radio has consistently pushed the boundaries. By the way, Sally, thank you for that. Sally has given us the definition. And I will not be. Oh, my gosh. No.
Oh.
Sally and about 28 other people apparently are giving us the definition. And they seem. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh?
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Oh.
I had no idea that was something.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. You shouldn't have said that. Ever.
Well, apparently there was widespread twerking going on during the halftime show. And
did he say it was profane?
Well, yeah, I'll get into it in a second. It's 54 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk with you for a moment about the Tennessee Men's Clinic. These are sensitive topics, and I try to weave my way around certain language within these topics. But, gentlemen, it's important that you deal with health issues, especially when it involves relationships, right? And this can impact your relationship once you get to a certain age. Perhaps your performance levels go down, whatever it might be. If you need a qualified urologist to give you a complete and comprehensive examination, might I recommend the Tennessee Men's Clinic? They have 3 locations to serve you. One is in Midtown Nashville. They have a Cool Springs location and, of course, the brand new Clarksville location to serve those of you just north of the city. The bottom line is this. You need qualified expertise in the field of urology to give you an examination. And for less than $100, $99, they will do that. They will figure out exactly what's going on with you, give you some blood work, get some blood work from you, I should say, and then figure out exactly what's happening in your body, whether it's a testosterone level or whatever it might be. Friends, it's time to get to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, or give them a call today. Schedule that appointment, 615-208-9090, 208-9090. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to spend a moment talking to you about our good friends at Genesis Diamonds. You know, fellas, it's February the 11th. That means you've got a couple of days to make some decisions about what the next year is going to be like for you. I'm talking about Valentine's Day. I'm talking about something amazing from Genesis Diamonds. They make it so easy. You walk through the doors, Cool Springs or Green Hills, and they'll walk you to their 50% off half-price vault, which is a special selection of incredible jewelry at an incredible 50% off. You can find some great gifts there. Number two, while flowers are nice, friends, if you're not doing something sparkly, she's not going to talk about it. And the flowers aren't going to last very long, and neither will the conversation about the gift that you give. But if you get her something amazing, something sparkly, some jewelry like a diamond bracelet, a pendant, and whatnot, she's going to be talking about that for years to come. Genesis wants Valentine's Day to be that very special I love you occasion. Make it louder than ever with a classic and elegant gift that goes beyond ordinary. Genesis Diamonds, also luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Genesis, Green Hills, and Cool Springs. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you for Valentine's Day to Genesis Diamonds.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Got some new developments in the case of Nancy Guthrie. Investigators searching for the missing 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie. Today, host say they have found a black glove near her Tucson home. The glove closely matches the one worn by the masked abductors seen in doorbell camera footage. Authorities say the discovery could be a key piece of evidence in the case. The search for Guthrie continues as investigators analyze this new clue. Meanwhile, ABC News says it has learned the person who was detained was on law enforcement's radar before a video was released showing someone there at Guthrie's door. We get more from ABC's Alex Stone.
That he's just a delivery driver and that he was in the area because that's what he does for a job. So if it will pan out, we don't know. But at this point, he has not been completely ruled out, but it's looking less likely that he was involved.
One more possible development. TMZ has been reporting a new message demanding Bitcoin for information on the person seen in that video released yesterday. And in our nation's capital, tensions flare between Attorney General Pam Bondi and some members of the House Judiciary Committee today when it came to the Epstein files.
I am reclaiming my time, and when I reclaim my time, it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady reclaimed her
I'm not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
That's Bondi responding to committee member Pramila Jayapal of Washington, who asked Bondi to turn around and apologize to the survivors in the room for the hearing for not having met with them beforehand.
Mr. Chairman.
Why?
I have asked.
Didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
Well, Garland at the time claimed he did not have knowledge of the Jeffrey Epstein files. No longer a mystery as to what prompted the FAA to try to block airspace around El Paso, Texas. Flights at El Paso International Airport halted after the FAA says it responded to uncoordinated military testing near Fort Bliss. Sources say the military was experimenting with high-energy laser systems designed to shoot down drones, including those possibly used by drug cartels. This is according to NBC News. The FAA issued a temporary flight restriction over the region, grounding all commercial and emergency flights. The order was lifted later, but local leaders say the disruption was unnecessary and caused major confusion. And here in Nashville, Metro Council members pressed Nashville Electric Service leaders last night over the response to the ice storm outages.
Will we get FAQs faster? than we did this time? Will we get a briefing faster than we did this time?
Vice President of Operations Brent Baker defending NES.
It looked like the ice was going to be in Memphis. On Saturday, when that ice pattern shifted, we began making those calls. As the forecast showed, ice was headed directly to Nashville. We started making those calls, and as soon as Sunday morning, when those companies were able to release their crews, that's when they started mobilizing this direction.
Well, they admitted communication fell short. They said new protocols and earlier mobilization plans are now in place. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Creve Hall, we've got debris in the roadway southbound 65. It is blocking the two center lanes there just past Harding Place. We've got a crash in Laverne. Actually, this is a stalled vehicle in Laverne blocking the left lane, 24 eastbound past Waldron Road. And in Hermitage, still showing a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder there, 40 eastbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. And in Whites Creek, a crash. Whites Creek Pike at Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We will shift gears. I do want to talk about Andy's open letter on the issue of the Super Bowl halftime show and his call for some sort of congressional investigation into the Super Bowl halftime show. And I just beg of you to tell me what exactly you want the government to do about it. Because many of you have expressed a belief that this is the proper role of government. To do something about this. As an example, I got a super text that says, "You're wrong, Matt. It's It's our job as a part of our society to protect morals and standards. And whose job and whose morals? The government's job? And the response was adult Americans. My thing is that, this has been going on for a long, long time, since the beginning of television. Elvis in 1956 was accused of decaying the moral fabric of the American society and destroying the lives of our young children because he gyrated on television. Now, I'm not saying that the two things are the same. What I'm saying is the sentiment and the reaction is the same. What I would suggest is that it's ultimately the parents' responsibility. Secondarily, I understand why we do want to have certain levels of standards, but the Super Bowl is no more guilty than most every other television programming I've watched on ABC, NBC, and CBS in primetime for the last 5 years. And I don't think we need to be spending taxpayer money investigating widespread twerking at the Super Bowl halftime show. I saw exactly 0 minutes of the halftime show because I knew that it was not for me. And 35-65, you're right. Justin Timberlake did rip off Janet Jackson's top and did show her. He didn't show her nipple. He showed her boobie, and she had some sort of pasty over the nipple. I think it is our job to recognize that we don't need to watch this type of crap and then turn it off. And I think if the American consumer did more of that, then perhaps we would get less of it. That's my take on it. More on that coming up in just a few minutes, unless our next guest wants to speak to it. At 10 minutes after the hour, it's time to turn our attention back to a post-mortem of the Nashville Electric Service and their lack of an ability to keep the lights on. We welcome back to the show Metro Councilor Courtney Johnston. Hello, Courtney.
Hi.
How are you?
Did
you watch the halftime show?
I did not. I was cooking dinner.
I was going to ask if you had electricity at the time.
I did thankfully have electricity by that time, but I did not watch it, no.
Y'all had a pretty lively council meeting last evening, I think.
Yes, technically it was a joint committee meeting and not a council meeting.
What does that mean? What is that distinction? What is that?
Well, we discussed no legislation. So it was a special called joint committee meeting that was outside of the normal calendar for the specific purpose of discussing the response to the storm with multiple departments.
Okay. What do you feel like we learned?
0. Nothing.
I mean, what? So you spoke to who all was there? I mean, obviously the council was there. Who all was there representing Nashville Electric?
Well, there were several board members that were in the audience. The people that spoke were the CEO, Teresa
Broyles Applin.
Yeah, I think I mess up her name all the time. And then Brent Baker. Those were the two that spoke on behalf of NES. And then we had OEM, NDOT, Metro Water Services. I feel like I'm leaving some people out. But anyway.
So what do you feel like the purpose of this meeting was?
Well, I thought that the purpose was for us to be able to ask questions, and it was. It started off more performative than anything, where they gave them, each of these department directors and the CEO, an opportunity to kind of pat themselves on the back about what they did and how they responded and all of that. And it was very, sort of, I don't know, dog and pony and sort of waste of time. And I thought about leaving. I just thought, this is silly. This is not what I was here for. And then we started having some questions that came in that were, again, more performative and a little bit of grandstanding. So
is it still their position, and you'll have to help me fill in these gaps here, is it still the position of the Nashville Electric Service that the most consequential problem that they faced was that they had a unique ice problem that the surrounding areas did not have?
They would, to a certain extent, yes. I think they...
Do you believe that?
No.
Okay.
Well, we did have a unique ice situation because we had more trees and limbs that it stuck to. How about that?
Okay, that's fair. And that was my take on it.
Yeah.
Is that I understand that the ice impacted Nashville more than it did other areas because the other areas decided to do more tree mitigation, vegetation mitigation, tree trimming than Nashville decided to do. And if that's a decision on the part of NES, that's fine. If it's their determination that that's what their customers want, that they want these beautiful canopies that drape over the tree, the electrical lines, that's fine. My issue is that there was no recognition that because of the decisions that have been made over the last 3 years, that's going to cause you more significant issues during an ice storm than any other part of the Middle Tennessee area.
Right, your immediate issues, but then also we're looking at roughly $140 million in damage, and who's going to pay for that? Well, the ratepayer's going to pay for that, 100%.
Because they didn't trim the trees, primarily.
That was the vast majority of the cause of the damage. Were tree vegetation pulling down pulling down poles and lines, destroying the infrastructure.
At any point, did you guys get to the question about budgeting versus expenditures? Because, their own reports indicated that they spent $7 million less than they did 2 years ago on tree trimming.
Correct.
But she keeps saying we haven't gone down in the budgets.
Yes, there was a very Bill Clinton semantics. So when you budget something, I can say, I am going to budget $100 to go to dinner. But if I only spend $70, I've only spent $70. Well, but I budgeted $100. That's the difference.
Well, I don't know if anyone asked this question. Where did the money go then? If you budgeted all of that money and you didn't spend all of that money, then where did the money go?
Right. Exactly. I don't know.
I mean,
because I don't manage their budget.
It's got to go somewhere.
Right.
And my frustration, and I yell at the wrong people because the wrong people are willing to come and see me.
I don't ever take your yelling at me.
I'm not.
The first time we met, I did.
Well, I was yelling at you. But don't make me laugh. The anger that I have is that it doesn't seem that there's anyone within the bureaucratic system that can hold the people responsible. That
to me is there's a lot of talk about trying to treat the headache. I don't care so much about treating the headache. I want to cut out the brain tumor that is causing the headache. And to me, that's the problem, is this lack of true oversight and regulatory authority. And so when the only oversight around it is a 5-member politically appointed board, and I'm not saying anything negative about the people that are on the board. They are good people if you meet them individually. But historically, that's what that is just it's a politically appointed board who hires the CEO to run the company. So that's who is making operational decisions. And the board has the ability to hire and fire the CEO only.
This seems, I don't know. Why doesn't the mayor just hire the CEO?
Because that's not the way that it was set up in the charter.
So it was set up to create plausible deniability for the Metro Council and for the mayor.
So NES was actually set up before the Metro charter. It predates the charter.
Who owns NES?
Metro does.
And who should be making the decisions about the operational practices of NES?
So there are several laws. There's the Metro charter. There's the predating of the setup of NES to begin with, and then there's state law as well. All of those things are true, and some of those things are conflicting.
Y'all know, is everyone aware over there that the state's about to take this over? I mean, y'all are going to...
I certainly hope so.
And they're going to take it over because no one is answerable to anyone.
Agreed.
And I guarantee you these liberals over there on the Metro Council, and I'm not talking to one right now, but these liberals over there on the council and Freddie O'Connell, they'll start screaming and mewling and puking about the state taking over. If you will take some responsibility and take action against the people who were responsible for the suffering of Nashville, Tennessee during this ice storm, then you wouldn't have a takeover. But you're going to have a takeover because you just keep passing the button, pointing fingers. Oh, well, we can't do anything. I'm not you, but you know what I'm saying.
I know. Well, my frustration with it is like, and this is what I've learned in the past 6 years in service, is what I don't understand is why is it so hard to just do the right thing and be honest? And for whatever reason, that is a common theme throughout. And I feel like people are not stupid. We just lived through this all together. And there's enough information out there in the public domain that people can look at it and go, okay, they didn't spend enough on vegetation management, right? Tons of trees are down. You can drive through Nashville and see that this is what caused this. You can talk about scaling up, lack of scaling up. You can look at forecasts. When do we get that in? You can look at how many linemen do we have? Are we understaffed? You can look at all of those things. But, you know, a very simple one is vegetation management you can look at. And all of these things come down to management decisions. And who is in charge of that is the CEO. And nobody's really being honest about it. And so then when I see the reaction to it, it's not to say, we welcome this independent review that the board has ordered that I'm looking forward to. I want to make sure that it's truly independent. Number one, they have not chosen a vendor yet. The board does that, but so I'm really waiting to see who the vendor is going to be. But so instead of saying we're really looking forward to this independent review, I have asked for that to be expanded, not only to the review of this response, but let's look at the entire organization, the structure, the technology, resilience, all of those things. If you're in there, go ahead and do the deep dive, right? But
Can I ask a simplistic question?
Sure.
If the appointed board is not able to do a review, then what are they for?
No, they are.
No. You said they're appointing someone.
No, they're hiring an outside company to do it.
Why couldn't the Metro Council just do that? Why does the board exist if they can't do the review on their own? If they can't do an impartial analysis of the person that they hired to put in management?
You mean for them to actually go in and review it themselves as a technical person?
What are they for? What do they do?
Well, so I'll push back on that a little bit. So I would prefer for someone like NERC to come in, which is the North American Electric Resilience Corporation, that has that. They are the organization that has the regulatory expertise for grids and resilience, all that stuff, to come in and look at and see. You're not going to find necessarily a board member or a corporate structure to do that. So they have ordered that.
I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against independent review. I'm against the board. I'm against the.
I'm not saying I'm against the.
I'm against their existence because I don't believe the board does anything. I don't believe they do a single thing. They can't fire anybody.
They can fire the CEO.
That they hired.
Correct.
So they would have to admit that they hired the wrong person.
Correct.
In order to do that. And they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. I mean, Courtney, I have no faith in that. I don't understand why the Metro Council can't absorb every responsibility that the board has. And at least the Metro Council are answerable to the people.
True. We have filed a resolution requesting that the board fire the CEO.
The council has.
Correct.
Has it been voted on?
No, because we haven't had the meeting yet. But it has been filed with the clerk, and it is public record. The agenda just came out today. So it'll be on Tuesday's meeting.
Okay.
And I am going to request a roll call vote, meaning you are going to be on the record with your name next to it.
I like that. I mean, I dig that. It's a level of bureaucracy that I genuinely, people think that I'm just being Mr. I genuinely don't understand. If the municipality is owned by the city of Nashville, if the people that we elect to make the governing decisions in Nashville are sitting on that council, then why do we have the mayor appoint a board that is independent of the council that makes all of these operational decisions based on their hiring of the CEO that impact the lives of the people of Nashville? And the people of Nashville don't have any direct say by calling up their Metro councilor, because when they call up their Metro councilor, the Metro councilor says, I can't do anything because that was a board decision. It's a circular level of bureaucracy that's infuriating to me.
Which is why I say I would rather handle the brain tumor instead of the symptom of it, which is the headache.
Yeah.
So that's exactly. I think we need to look at the entire structure of it. It's going to require a charter amendment or whatever it's going to be nonsense. But so, and I was on a roll and you completely derailed me.
Here's what we do. We reset. I'm sorry. I get very excited about this subject. 23 after the hour. Our guest is Courtney Johnston. If you have any questions or comments, get in here, because there was a meeting last night. Questions were asked. A few of them were answered. Some. Is that fair?
Now
Some.
I remember where I was.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, keep that thought. We'll be back in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. And if you're tired of government red tape, that's right, government bureaucracy, then I would encourage you, when it comes to your health insurance needs, to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Shane simply does it better than anyone else. If you're tired of health insurance that feels like the mathematics examination from hell, then Shane's your guy. Because Shane's going to make it simple for you. He's going to explain it to you. He's going to sit down with you. He's going to walk through the process. And he's going to find the right health insurance program for you. He can shop all of them. That's right. Over 75 programs are at his fingertips. He does not work for health insurance companies. He works for you. If you are playing by Washington's rules with Obamacare or any other type of managed health care, you need to stop it, because premiums are going to continue to go up. Deductibles will continue to go up. Shane can help you by cutting your costs significantly. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, don't listen to this. Oh, it's not open enrollment nonsense. No, you can get change happening today with Cover Nash. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com.
And a major development in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. We'll tell you what NBC says it has learned exclusively at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A very in-depth conversation with our good friend Metro Councilor Courtney Johnston discussing the meeting that happened last night where we had questions asked and some questions answered regarding Nashville Electric and their build-up and then response to the ice storm that was. You were on a roll, and I interrupted you, and I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. So where I was going with that was, so they've ordered this independent review, looking forward to that, because I think that's where we will, assuming that it is independent and thorough, we will find out exactly what happened and hopefully get recommendations on what investments we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. So that's all I think people really want to hear is, hey, we admit this was not great. This was awful. We screwed up. We're gonna find out what went wrong. We're gonna let you know what went wrong, and we're gonna fix it. We don't want this to ever happen again. People just want some genuine answers and truthfulness from people. And instead, what they've done is hired a ton of lobbyists to protect themselves and to lobby the council to try to protect the CEO's job. SEIU has been lobbying to protect the CEO's job. There's it's just, and I'm going.
Finn Partners is.
Finn Partners has been there for a while, but
is it true that it's a 3-year, $10 million contract?
I have not seen that. If you've seen it, yeah, I haven't seen the actual contract. I know that it's multi-million dollars, and I know that it is multi-year. But that was also in place well before the storm.
Right.
They have added since the storm a lot.
Might I ask that the Metro Council inquire, or at least this independent body inquire, as to what the purpose of that relationship was? Because if it was supposed to be forward facing? Was it supposed to act as a public communications?
The Finn Partners?
Yeah.
It's my understanding that was supposed to be their public facing for like dealing with just social media stuff and just in general communications and most companies have that.
Right, because they don't have,
they have 3 people on staff that handles communications, and then they have this PR firm.
Who is their communications point person, to your knowledge, at NES? Is it Brent Baker?
I know he's the vice president of something. Now, who I go to is, I don't know, to be honest with you. If there's a communications person, for media relations, you mean
I'm just
something?
trying to figure out. So the ratepayers are paying that $10 million nut on Finn Partners. And I'm just trying to figure out what the purpose of that relationship was. Because if the purpose was to better communicate with the public about NES and, issues like this, then that's a failure. And Finn Partners needs to pay that. You know what I mean? They need to pay that money back if it's crisis management.
Yeah, I could pull up that contract here because that contract is directly with either NES or the Power Board. So I can pull that up on our portal and see exactly what the scope of that contract is. What I have not been able to find are these other contracts. And that's why I asked them last night. I know that you've entered into these contracts, but I can't find them, which means I think they've probably done it as a subcontract of these others so that it's not subject to FOIA. Anyway, my purpose is it's disingenuous, right? For free, you can just tell people the truth.
Yeah.
For free, you can say, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to fix it. We're going to do better.
Do you feel like that happened last night?
No.
Courtney Johnston with us. We'll get to some of your questions momentarily on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. NBC reporting a major development today in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Investigators say they recovered a black glove near her home. It appears similar to the glove worn by the suspected kidnapper captured in security footage. Detectives now examining whether the glove can be linked to the person seen tampering with her doorbell camera. I say NBC News. There are several outlets are reporting that. What NBC News is reporting is that the sudden FAA shutdown of El Paso's International Airport today stemmed from U.S. military counter-drone testing happening nearby. Officials familiar with the situation, according to NBC, say high-energy laser trials triggered concerns about safety for civilian aircraft. The FAA imposed a sweeping airspace restriction for what it called national security reasons before later reversing course. El Paso's mayor sharply criticized the lack of communication, saying the decision forced medical flights to divert. Tensions flare between Attorney General Pam Bondi and some members of the House Judiciary Committee today. Bondi faced questions over the DOJ's release of some of the Epstein files and whether they deliberately redacted names of those who may have been in Epstein's inner circle. Here, committee member Pramila Jayapal of Washington asks Bondi to turn to Epstein victims in the hearing and apologize for what Jayapal claims the DOJ has put them through.
You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say this.
I'll direct it to
what
you.
a massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm
interrupted.
not going to get in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
and let me have my
The
time.
gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can.
Here in Nashville, Metro Council members grilled NES over its slow response to last month's massive ice storm outage. Channel 4's Braden Ross says NES admitted communication failures, says new storm prep and messaging plans are coming.
As far as changes moving forward, NES CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin says they're focused on improving communications, emergency leadership structures, and how they assess outages, among many other things. But council members also heard from an NES lineman who cautioned them about moving too quickly.
We are concerned about too many reactionary changes being made. We know not everything went right, but that doesn't mean that everything went wrong.
One last thing I did want to note here. Last week, Mayor Freddie O'Connell said he legally can't fire or remove any NES leadership, but he did say that a unanimous vote from Metro Council could remove NES board members.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Complete stop and go northbound 65 to the South Loop, then eastbound South Loop over to 65. Looks like there's a crash right there at 65. Right there at 65 at I-40 downtown. Then we've got really slow going both directions, East Loop, northbound North Loop up to the northern split. And then 440 westbound over to 40 is just about as heavy as it is eastbound over to 24. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN generously agreeing to take your telephone calls with her time. It is Courtney Johnston. I don't know why I'm saying it that way. I don't know what I'm doing. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Courtney Johnston is with us. I'm just happy I haven't mangled your name yet. You want to talk to a couple other folks? So the bottom line is there were questions and answers and not really a lot of...
They weren't as hard-hitting questions as I would have wanted, but at the same time, I don't know that we're going to get true information on the failures and what should have happened as far as response or, system capabilities and yada, yada until we get the results of the review.
And how long is that going to take?
I asked that question on Timeline, and she said she meaning Teresa, said she has asked for that to come back within 90 days. However, they have not chosen the vendor quite yet, so I would hope that would happen in the coming days. It shouldn't take that long to have it be done, but
how much money does the CEO of NES make?
When I asked our finance, they couldn't get a hard answer on it, which seemed odd to me. She estimated $350,000.
Okay. Once again,
I know it's odd.
So your finance person with the city of Nashville cannot tell you directly how much money the CEO of NES, which is owned by the city of Nashville, is paid.
Correct. Yep, because we don't. Their budget is totally separate. It's not part of our operating budget.
Well, but y'all.
I know.
John is next up. Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, I'm concerned about when is Metro going to start cleanup of trees that are down and limbs. I live in the South Fork subdivision, close to the Hermitage. It's border of Lakewood and Old Hickory, and we've got trees that are down on the Metro property, some of which have damaged the wooden plank fences on some of the properties, like on the Conway Court subdivision. And I called Hub Nashville several days ago. I just haven't seen anybody even attempting to do any cleanup of debris.
John, good question.
Yeah, John, thanks for your question. So we have brought in several contractors to start. We're asking people for their own items, debris, to bring it to the curb, and they're going to be making several passes probably for the next month. There is no schedule because whatever schedule they wouldn't be able to keep to anyway, and so they're just going to be going through the county multiple times to pick up things that are on the curb. The normal restrictions as far as length and width of that debris is out the window. Whatever's on the curb is going to be picked up. It just has to be vegetation debris, not trash. If you're talking about Metro-owned property, like a parcel in the yard, something to pick up, that will probably come later because we're focusing our efforts on things along the right-of-way.
Good question, John. Michelle is next up with a question or comment about NES. Michelle, you're on with Courtney Johnston.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Excuse me. I live in Hendersonville. We have no one to represent us. So really, my concern is that things need to be regrouped and restructured on who's represented and who's not represented. I've lived in 4 states. I lived in Indiana, ice storms all the time, never out without power this long. I've lived in hurricane area, never without power this long. There's not enough staff. We've heard that. I've listened to talk radio. I know that. We've had help turned away. We've had trucks sitting around. We need people held accountable, and evidently only Metro can fire the CEO. In my humble opinion, it's just my opinion, she needs fired. And I don't see her even taking any accountability. We all knew the storm was coming. We should have been prepared. Lives were lost. People were without power for 11 hours. There's people on oxygen. People had to stay in hotels.
11 hours, 11 days. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and it goes to the heart of the matter, Michelle. And I don't mean to cut you
No,
short,
you're fine. Thank you.
but yeah, thank you, because I've got
Thank
so
you,
many
Michelle.
people. So how did it happen? And that people outside of Davidson County who have no control over who their mayor is going to be are under the umbrella of a monopoly like NES, and it doesn't seem like they have any direct representation. It just seems like an odd setup.
I have no idea. I had somebody ask me that. How did they get roped into it, and how could they get out? I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how, from a circuit perspective, do you buy the circuit? Do you acquire the circuit or the substation that handles? I don't know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, like I said earlier, I'm sure there's a will, there's a way, but I don't know how it happened in the first place. Did they opt into it because it was a better deal before? Or I don't know. I really don't know that.
Let me talk to James next. James, you're on with Courtney Johnston. What's up, James?
Good afternoon. I got a couple of quick questions, and then I'll make my point. Would you take your child to see Matt Murphy for medical care? Of course not. Would you take your car to your dentist to get it worked on? Of course not. You have college professors running the electrical department instead of engineers, arborists, and CPAs. Why do you think they have their problem? These people are clueless and could not tell you a single thing about how electricity works or the theory of it.
Don't disagree.
James, it's a problem that is a systemic one. And it's one that I keep going back to. What are our parameters? If the mayor is appointing these individuals that are on the board, and I've requested the mayor come back on with us now that the meat of the storm is done. To his credit, he came on right after the storm popped. He gave us a report. He gave us an analysis. We haven't had him back on since. We're trying to get him back on to answer some of these questions. What are your parameters when you're selecting a board member? Do you believe some of these board members need to go? How does that functionally happen if you believe that? If the board is responsible for the hiring and firing of the CEO, are they not then responsible for the failures of the CEO that they hired indirectly? So these are good questions to ask. Let's talk to Jeff, who is next up. Jeff, good afternoon.
Hey, Matt. Well, I've got more of a suggestion than anything else, I guess. That
just go quick, because I'm trying to get to as many questions with Courtney as I possibly can.
Okay. Wouldn't it be more feasible, like in heavy vegetated areas, to put underground lines in where you're not having to trim the trees every 3 to 5 years, when underground electric lines usually last 30 to 50 years, and the money they would save from the budgeting and everything else to keep those lines in the ground and be storm-proof, basically.
I wasn't around. Well, Jeff, I wasn't around, and this is a great suggestion. I wasn't around back in 1994, but people who were have hit me up and tell me that in the aftermath of that storm, a lot of suggestions were being made about utilizing underground lines as opposed to above-ground poles. And apparently not a lot of that happened?
Well, so they started discussing that, and what they decided was that new subdivisions would be undergrounded.
Okay.
But not retro. And when I was first elected in 2019, we had a meeting with NES, and I was like, can we please start talking about this? And it was completely dismissed. The fiscal note to that was just extremely exorbitant. We can't even talk about it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Well, now they are looking at doing that in certainly some areas, just like this caller is talking about, in those certain areas, at least to start with, that have high lots of vegetation, and so strategically looking at that. So I'm glad that we are now, I mean, it's obviously taken how many storms and how many this, how many that, we're finally saying, oh, maybe we should start looking at undergrounding. So.
Well, look, and, leave it. I'll be the one that points fingers and yells and screams about what has happened. But if the result is we get action on something like that,
right,
then, I mean, at least we get action on something like that.
The whole purpose is to improve outcomes, and whatever that takes, that's what we need to do.
Billy, we're going to go quickly with you on the subject of NES. Billy, what's up?
I do not understand. Just because it's called Nashville Electric Service doesn't mean it's Davidson County. I don't understand why, when they represent power to 6 different counties, it's not taken over by the state, and it be mandated that there's equal board for equal representation on the board. it seems ridiculous because if you really get down to it, then you're going to have people in Nashville they're going to be pandering. The ones on the board are going to be pandering to Davidson County instead of worrying about the other people if things got bad.
I agree with you. I also don't think that the board setup in general. I mean, you could make the board bigger and have every county represented. I still think you have the same problem where you are appointed by a political body, and at that point, you're still a political appointee. I would rather just restructure where you have qualified regulatory authority.
And Billy, thank you for the call. It was recommended or suggested by the Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton, when he last appeared on our show, I think it was Monday, that perhaps MTE, I think is a co-op, perhaps looking into that method that brings at least the appointment of any board closer to the ratepayer, because the ratepayers in a co-op obviously elect the board themselves. Any thought on that?
I will say we have a cabin in DeKalb County that I think it's Middle Tennessee Electric. I can't remember, but I know that it's a co-op. And I will say it works extremely well. We went through the storm. The cabin did not lose power or anything for 1 second. They do a very good job of response. They do a very good job of vegetation management, and our rates are really low. I'll say that. We've been part of the voting thing, so in a way, it's a little bit similar to your point. It's a lot closer to the ratepayer versus it being a political. If you're appointed by a political body, it's a political appointee, and there's always going to be that nuance there that, to me, is not necessarily productive.
What just synopsize last night in the minute or two that we have left? Synopsize last night and tell us what next steps are.
So, as far as what's going to be meaningful is the next step is that independent review. There is a resolution that has been filed. I have signed on to it requesting the board fire the CEO. I think what people want to see is some accountability, but at the same time, regardless of if you could pinpoint, yes, she did this or no, she did not do this, we depend on power every second of every day. It is an essential utility and it needs to be trusted, and people don't trust her leadership. And so once you have that trust diminished, at that point, your presence is not productive and it's time to move on. That is the purpose for me supporting the resolution. And so I just think it's time to move on. So that's that next step. The other next step is I think that regardless of whether the state steps in or whatever, we've got to look at how we are providing oversight to NES. And I want it to not just be a small little temporary fix. I think just the entire structure of it needs to be fixed, and everyone needs to be either represented, but I also just don't like the idea of the politicized nature of it. There needs to be some type of regulatory authority over it, and right now there is none.
Courtney, you're always gracious with your time. You're always you're immediately responsive to the constituents that you serve and beyond, and we thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Courtney Johnston, everyone, Metro Councilor. We'll be back in a moment, 54 after the hour. Our good friend Cameron Smith coming up next. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Affordable, convenient, comprehensive medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. That's in a direct pay format. Why is that important? Because your doctor-patient relationship should be and is sacrosanct at Grace Point Healthcare. They don't allow the insurance company in the room. They make the decisions along with you as to what is best for you and your health. Bottom line, they want to get to the bottom of the issue. They don't want to treat the symptoms. They want to treat the causal factors. And when they do that, you're going to get healthier, quicker, and you can still file with your insurance company for reimbursement. Secondarily, your HSA account can now pay for your Smart Care plan, which is pretty cool. That's thanks to the big, beautiful bill. In other words, $99 a month for grown-ups, $79 a month for the kids. You pay, and you don't have to pay anything additional for regular office visits, diagnostics, and labs included in that cost. Isn't that nice? Grace Point Healthcare is located in Franklin, but anywhere within the sound of my voice, it's worth the drive, friends. They're so timely. You don't have to wait in the waiting rooms, and you don't have to wait for an appointment either. They don't believe in it. If you've got a cold or the flu, you need to see somebody today or at least tomorrow. You don't need to wait weeks on end. You don't at Grace Point Healthcare. Give them a call today at 599-6868, 599-6868. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. What authorities say a black glove has been found just outside the home of missing Arizona resident Nancy Guthrie. The glove resembles the one worn by her masked abductor in those released surveillance images from yesterday. Investigators treating the discovery as potentially significant evidence. Meanwhile, the search for Guthrie enters another day with no confirmed suspect. El Paso International Airport came to a standstill after the FAA reacted to military laser testing near Fort Bliss intended to defend against hostile drones. Sources say confusion between the Defense Department and the FAA led to the abrupt 10-day flight ban. Although the restriction was lifted hours later, it had already grounded passenger, cargo, and emergency flights. Local officials say the move caused chaos and should never have happened without proper coordination. And Attorney General Pam Bondi sparring with congressional Democrats today at a House oversight hearing. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Democrats tried to hammer the Attorney General over her department's handling of the Epstein files. That led the hearing to repeatedly devolve into shouting matches.
So he asked a
Judiciary Committee ranking member Jamie Raskin urged Pam Bondi not to speak over his colleagues, prompting the Attorney General to refer to the committee's top Democrat as a washed-up loser lawyer.
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Here in Nashville, Metro Council members questioned NES leaders whether better preparation and staffing could have shortened the outage for thousands of customers after the winter storm. This mother testified her child's medical food spoiled while she waited for electricity to return.
When I explained we were down to only a few days of refrigerated medical food for my daughter, I was advised to find another option.
NES leaders like Vice President of Operations Brent Baker faced tough questions about inaccurate outage notifications that told people their power was restored when it wasn't.
We've learned a lot in this storm, and we really appreciate all of the interest from you all, and your interest has pushed us and propelled us to do even better.
Well, Metro Council members also questioned department heads from the Office of Emergency Management, Metro Water Services, Department of Transportation, and Metro Police about their storm responses. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Madison, we've got a crash blocking the left two lanes, Briley Parkway northbound, right before Gallatin Pike. In Laverne, a crash, Murfreesboro Pike west of Laverne, Couchville Pike. In Brentwood, a wreck, Edmondson Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. Downtown Split, an accident, Left lane is partially blocked. 40 eastbound just past exit 211. And I'm Ken Weaver.
It is 5:07. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Matt Murphy Radio Show in progress. Thank you for being with us. If you're driving home right now, you're probably having a tough time of it. I'm looking at the TDOT, the map, and it's not good. A lot of red going on that map. And so all I can tell you is that it is. Ken Weaver?
Yes, sir.
Have you looked at this map?
Oh, I'm looking at it every 10 minutes, Brother Murphy.
I know that you're reporting on the what is going on, Ken Weaver? I mean, is something in the water? What's happening on this Wednesday? I'm not seeing bright red. I'm seeing deep, dark red everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, sir.
The Loop, red. 440, red. 65, red. 24, red. 40, red. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad out there. The only thing I can point to is way too many people.
Way too many people. But here's the good news: if you're going, is that 24 is technically east-west, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would say north of the city, if you're on 24, it's smooth sailing. It's not.
Well, you should have spoke so soon there, Brother Murphy, because it looks like right now in Montgomery County we've got a crash 24 westbound at Clarksville, Trenton.
Sorry.
Exit 1.
That's on me.
He's Ken Weaver.
I'm Ken Weaver.
That one's on me. So it'll be there when you get there, and just calm it down, and we'll try to entertain you.
Too many people.
Home.
We will?
Yeah, there's too many. That's
too
what we
many
do.
freaking people.
Yeah. We need to.
Maybe stop off and get you a sandwich.
No, we need to keep them near the radio. We got nincompoops coming.
Drive through.
Okay, that's fine. You can do drive through. I'll allow it. Don't
keep the people from their sandwiches.
I had. I used to. Back in the day, I used to recommend that people. I got asked to stop recommending that people just stop off and get themselves a couple of pops before they get back on the road. I was told that was not a preferred
that's drunk
way.
Driving.
That's not a preferred way. I didn't say get drunk.
That's a felony.
I didn't say get drunk. I didn't make anybody do it. Cameron Smith is with us. He of the Tennessee, and he joins us on these Wednesdays. Hello, Cameron.
Hey, man.
Uh-oh.
I didn't press the button. Rookie mistake.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. Do you know what Jackson did to that little container you got there?
Well, anything you did to it's probably gross.
Yeah.
I peed in it.
Come on. Did you tell him the story from yesterday?
No.
He won nincompoops in the news, and it was some sort of.
It was terrible.
I can read it again.
No. I mean, I think if you did that story again today, despite the fact that you'd be disqualified, you'd win again. I mean, it was.
That's how good it was.
It was the most insane thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I'll give you the short version, Cameron. Essentially, this paramedic was a serial peer on all different manners of items, and he did something with chapstick that we don't know what he did.
Not really entirely sure.
We can guess, and none of it's good. He peed in an ice maker and stirred it in there. He peed in a pot of chili. He peed on his boss's keyboard.
Okay.
He peed on what else did he pee?
He peed on everything.
He peed on everything, man.
I mean,
but the chapstick, I've gotten more questions about what did he do with the chapstick.
Well, what did he do with that?
I don't know. They didn't say.
I think
we can guess.
I think we can figure it out.
It's just really, the front or the rear or what he.
Goodness.
Anyway, that was yesterday's Nincompoops in the News. We highly anticipate today's Nincompoops in the News. And I also anticipate your take on a story that I addressed a couple of hours ago, or I guess a little over an hour ago now. And I was surprised at the amount of pushback that I got disagreeing with Representative Andy Ogle's take on government intervention with Super Bowl halftime shows. A lot of folks seem to be under the disillusionment that there's not a fair amount of gyrating that goes on every night on primetime television.
What?
I know. Fascinating. But they specifically, some at least, are supportive of Andy's effort to get to the bottom of the bottoms that we saw at the Super Bowl halftime show for those that watched.
I don't think you understand. There was widespread twerking.
Not just twerking.
Widespread.
You see, I feel like if it was random and occasional twerking, that maybe it would not merit government intervention.
It is systemic. And those pelvic gyrations, our taxpayer dollars should be used in a manner to get to the bottom.
See what you did there.
See what I did?
I saw what you did.
Get to the bottom of these gyrations and ultimately deal with how in the world did we have Spanish language music during the American Super Bowl? I mean, serious Americans want to know this.
I can understand why people might get annoyed.
But what if they cuss in Spanish and we don't know it?
So several people responded to me when I gave my take on it, which I think it's completely ridiculous and performative that Andy would be suggesting this. Several, suggested that out and out that it was the role of government because these are federally the Federal Communications Commission governs broadcast television, despite the fact that I would almost bet not a single one of you listening right now doesn't pay something to get television into your home.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you don't, kudos to you. I mean, what you're maybe you have digital, a digital antenna, and that thing is platforming your television and it's coming over the air. But the vast majority of you pay. And when you pay, you're entering into an agreement with that company. And when you pay, the government gets out of the way. That said, intrusive media is governed by the FCC. Radio is considered an intrusive media, meaning you don't know what you're going to hear before you hear it.
Right.
And the federal government has a certain level of standard or expectation. Now, before we get into whether or not they violated those standards or expectations, I mean, that's one thing. But I don't understand why so many people don't understand that maybe the Super Bowl halftime show isn't for you and the government should not get involved in demanding that it be more for you. Some people are saying, no, this was offensive in its nature and it went past the line.
I'm going to make a sound. Click. That's the sound of you changing the channel, turning the TV off.
Can I play devil's advocate with you?
Please do.
Yeah, but if, for example, Justin Timberlake, right, Janet Jackson. My kids are watching the halftime show.
Sure.
And they saw the boobie before I didn't know the boobie was coming.
Yes.
And they saw the boobie before I knew it was coming. And now I got to sit down and talk to my kids about the boobie.
Sure.
What do you say to those parents?
So
I didn't have a chance to click.
Absolutely. And if we saw nudity, I would say, well, hey, look, you can't do that. And they should be fined, right? I mean, that was the nipple slip, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yes.
And that's the type.
Remember they called it a wardrobe malfunction.
Yes, a wardrobe malfunction. But my point is, we live in a radically different culture than even that wardrobe malfunction. I mean, it is a totally different climate, and you have the options because everybody who is upset about Bad Bunny knew that Bad Bunny was the artist and had the option to turn it off. I have yet to find someone who did not know that Bad Bunny was going to be there and was surprised and could not, and it is now very upset.
Is there not at some point, is there not, I disagree, by the way, I'm playing devil's advocate for the purpose of the conversation. I disagree with a lot of the government intervention here. I think it's up to the parents, but at some point, should parents not have an expectation that there will not be simulated sex acts during the Super Bowl? Because I don't think you can deny that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But you watched it. They were simulating sex, were they not?
I mean, that's real fast sex, you know? I mean, they were twerking, they were twitching and gyrating.
There were women bent over with men behind them, Cameron. That's simulating sex.
I mean, maybe. I was watching it. I was not.
I mean, let's not play it silly. That's what they were doing.
This is the genre. This is the thing. If I tell you Marilyn Manson is going to be the halftime performer, and then you show up and are like, wow. Well, he was kind of scary and Satan-y, and I'm offended by that, I'm going to look at you like, they told you. They advertised everywhere. You had ample opportunities to look at this. The same with Kendrick Lamar that I think was last year. If you don't like Kendrick Lamar's music, now one of the things that Randy Fine out of Florida, a couple of other members of Congress did is they jumped to the conclusion of, well, we looked up the songs and
that he did,
and we looked up
and
the
lyrics were really, really nasty.
Lyrics were explicit.
Several people mentioned that too.
Therefore, if this was in English, they would have been fined and kicked off the air. Well, they had censored it. Like multiple outlets have reported that the Spanish was censored, much like they do with Eminem or Dr. Dre or anybody else that has explicit content for a primetime audience.
Did he alter the lyrics, or did they clipped him?
They bleeped, and then he kind of, you know how they sometimes just kind of like mumble the word, like it's not clear purposefully. So what they're doing is effectively bleeping it because they're not saying the word. They just kind of drag a syllable or something. So the F word and all the other stuff that would have been a finable offense was curated and pulled out, but it was in Spanish. So people who don't speak Spanish just assumed, well, this is the song, these are the lyrics, that's what he was saying, and therefore this is a double standard. It wasn't.
Well, I for one appreciate the fact that they went to the next level with their. Not only did they censor it, they also put it in Spanish. So on two levels, I couldn't understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah, and the idea that we need to have the government enforce our preferences, if there's a violation of law, you know I'm a rule of law guy, let's do it. But the idea that the widespread twerking is going to be sufficient to form the basis of like a fine, I don't think so. And it's certainly, I don't know what a congressional hearing is going to do to help us figure this out.
6054 is very upset about this. And because independent of the conversation on air, I proposed to him that since the beginning of television, these types of complaints have been happening. Elvis was censored on broadcast television because parents complained that he was a corrupting influence. He was an immoral and corrupting influence on American youth because he gyrated on television.
Yep.
It's the exact same complaint as we're getting in 2026.
Yes.
Now, I understand the gyrations have gotten more lewd. I understand that it's a new level, but the complaints are exactly the same. 6054 says, you want us to stand back and say nothing. You don't want us to fight for our culture. Parents, vote for representatives to protect us. Don't blame the parents.
And I'm happy to respond to that.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Happy to respond to that. You vote with your dollars as well as your representation. And the idea that everything that we want to see done as the province of government is not even remotely conservative. We have a limited government. That is the design from its inception, is that the proper seat of government is in the states and that there are a great many things that the federal government should not be involved in. And this is the kind of thing where the harms that exist can be adequately addressed by the market, can be adequately addressed by parental intervention, and there's a reasonable expectation that when there's massive advertising done about the artist that is available at halftime, that you have sort of an informed perspective rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to sit through all 13 minutes of this and hate every minute of it and be very, very upset.
Well, and you know, we've gotten a number of people hitting us up on the super text line that says, we don't want our children introduced to that. That is your responsibility as a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want your kids introduced to R-rated movies, should the government ban all R-rated movies so that just in case you're not there in the room, that your kid is not exposed to it because it was presented on a television station?
Yeah, I have 5 boys. I love them dearly. As a Christian, I am raising them to be in the world and not of it. I am pushing them to challenge the culture that is raw sewage. This is selective outrage to score political points because the political class thinks if we can, they think you're stupid.
Well, and so many of you are like, we're on a, I mean, 5637 says, I agree with Ogles. The whole country is on a rock sled to hell. Well, one, since I was a baby, people have been saying that, that the country is headed to hell in a handbasket. Number 2, why is it the government's role to maintain the culture? Isn't it our role to maintain the culture? And the way that you do that is to turn off your television.
Yep.
And if that means, you know, it seems to me that you don't want to do that you want someone else to do the hard work for you. Turn off the TV. If the Super Bowl no longer represents your values, don't watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, take it a step further. Stop going to the NFL games. Stop watching it entirely. It's a business. You don't have to give them any of your money or your attention.
And I would encourage you not to do so.
Yes.
If you don't believe, I mean, I appreciate the values that you guys say that you're trying to represent. I appreciate the cultural norms that you are trying to represent. What I don't appreciate is using the power and force of government to force other people to abide by those same norms because I'm an American and I'm free to live my life of my choosing too.
Yeah, and I have very specific views on what's right and wrong. I am not clear. The Bible is the lens through which I see the world, right? And I recognize not everybody shares that, but in America, that's how we can have our perspectives, but when we use the power, we use the stick to enforce them, we've got a problem. And I hate to break it to a lot of you folks, and y'all are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I think it's important to be said, that the church lost the culture. The generations have gradually lost, not because the culture did worldly smut or there was too much gyration. It was you didn't make a compelling enough case for your values for people to want to buy them.
And a lot of people who are just joining us, just getting in on the conversation, are asking the same question. I heard that there was foul language, but it was in Spanish. I didn't watch, and I don't speak Spanish. So even if I had watched, I wouldn't know. But people that do speak Spanish say that no foul language made it across the broadcast.
And that's been widely reported. Like, it's the same type of censorship that you saw of Kendrick Lamar last year. Like, Kendrick Lamar has explicit content, and it was sort of
they
fixed.
muted it.
Yes.
Or they mangled it.
Yeah.
They do this new thing, like Cameron was talking about, where they don't mute it so that the sound doesn't go out. They just garble it.
Right.
So that you don't understand what words he was saying. And they did that in the Spanish broadcast. So anyone saying that, oh, they were saying the nasty words, apparently that's not the case. We'll get to your calls. We'll get to your thoughts. Stephen and Hatch and Robert and Jim. 615-737-9986 is 25 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about your heater, because while you might not have used it over the past couple of days, you're going to be using it soon because it's getting cold again. You know, it's still February out there, and we got several other cold snaps to go through. And if the heater's not operating as it should, it's time to call Jeff Eddy. I like to say, if your heater's not ready, call Jeff Eddy. And Efficient Heating and Cooling, let his team come out. Roger was my man. He was a lifesaver during the ice storm. Our heater was acting, we just moved into the house. Heater was not acting like it should. Roger came out and said, I'm going to make this right, and I'm going to stay here until I know that it's right, because we're not going to have you guys down during an ice storm. And lo and behold, he did what he promised he was going to do. That's what they do with Efficient Heating and Cooling. They want 100% satisfaction from their customers. If you need a second opinion, or if your heater's just not working right, give Jeff Eddy and his team a call at Efficient Heating and Cooling. Plus, when the time comes, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, and they can point you in the right direction for a new heating unit for you and your family. Call today at 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or efficienthvac.net. That's efficienthvac.net.
Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And in the ongoing investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, police say they've uncovered a black glove near her Tucson property. This glove matches the type worn by that person seen in the doorbell camera footage, disabling her security system. Officials say the item may offer new forensic opportunities. Meanwhile, in our nation's capital, tensions flare between Attorney General Pam Bondi and some members of the House Judiciary Committee today.
I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
ABC's Jay O'Brien says that was part of an exchange between Bondi and committee member Democrat Ted Lieu of California.
He put a picture of former Prince Andrew on the screen, and he asked, why hasn't former Prince Andrew been indicted or investigated by this Department of Justice? And Bondi hit back saying, why didn't you ask Merrick Garland that question? And Lieu's response there was notable. He said, I'm going to read directly from it, quote, Merrick Garland dropped the ball. But then he said to Attorney General Pam Bondi that she could change that because she is in charge now.
Here in Nashville, Channel 4's Braden Ross breaks down last night's Metro Council meeting on the NES response to the winter storm.
Tuesday night, Metro Council members questioned leaders from several departments, the Office of Emergency Management, Metro Water Services, and DOT, but it was representatives from NES that spent the most time in the hot seat.
We did not meet the expectations of our customers.
They fielded questions about everything from staffing.
We are going to make sure that we have additional contracts lined up.
To supporting people with critical care needs.
There were several nursing homes that weren't in our list.
To tree trimming.
We did not do specific actions through leading up to this storm, but I think absolutely as we learned from this, a commitment to every action leading into this type of an event, you will see us make those.
Well, as far as removing NES leadership, Mayor Freddie O'Connell says he doesn't have the legal authority, but he says a unanimous vote of the Metro Council can remove board members. That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. It is still complete stop-and-go traffic eastbound to East Loop, then northbound North Loop up to the northern split, both east and westbound 40 between 65 and 40, and then northbound 65 up to the South Loop. Then you've got westbound 40, complete stop-and-go between the eastern split and downtown. Doesn't get much better eastbound 440 over to 24. In fact, we've got a crash now, 440 westbound at Nolensville Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Friends, Better Water LLC is your one-stop shop for all things water in your home, in your place of business, in the office, etc. Think of it as a big Brita water filter for the home. Scalable from under the sink to an entire house application. You know, I had these guys out to my home, and here's the wonderful thing. Robert at Better Water came out. He did a couple of water tests for me. I mean, these are comprehensive water tests. These are deep dives. And he, testing sulfur and iron and chlorine and bacteria, E. coli, everything on your water. And plus, they tested the softness versus the hardness of the water. And Robert was like, Murph, you're looking pretty good here. I would not and he gave me a couple of recommendations for distilled and versus tap and whatnot, but he basically gave me a clean bill of health when it came to my water. Now, this is a wonderful aspect of Better Water. Now, Robert did mention that it is a very rare thing that he doesn't find some issues with water. If you need a softened water or water softener, specialized filters, UV lights, reverse osmosis, they do it all. You name it, they do it. They're based out of Smyrna. They're treatable, or they treat all of Middle Tennessee, and they can treat water at your place and your place of business as well. Go to betterwater.com to find out more about what they do, or better yet, give them a call. These are folks you can trust, and they get the job done when it comes to water. It impacts every aspect of your life. You need good, clean water. Call 615-355-6063, 355-6063 for Better Water LLC. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We're pleased you've decided to join us. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living and delivers them twice an hour. And he also participates in Nincompoops in the News, and that's coming up in just a moment or two. Jackson Williams was the big winner yesterday. That means that, Jay Willie, you got one. You got 2 victories?
I got one. You won Monday.
I won Monday. You won yesterday. Oh, and today's Wednesday. That makes sense.
That's how the days of the week work.
Thank you. What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thursday. And, Matt, we're not doing the show here. We're going on location.
T-Line. Very exciting.
Weaver's going to be there.
Representative Scott Sapicki going to stop by in the 4 o'clock hour and defend his anti-raccoon position. We'll see about all of that.
Like to see that.
He might end up being my nincompoop in the news tomorrow. So we'll get to that. But a couple of folks have been holding for a long time. I want to get to them. They want to talk about the Super Bowl, like Robert in Laredo. Is it Laredo or Loretto?
Loretto.
Where's that at?
About roughly about 15 to 20 minutes south of Murphy Lago.
Oh, Murphy Lago. Oh, okay. All right. Well, come see me sometime, Robert. I'll buy you a drink at the Mount Pleasant Grill.
I already have. You and I already done some bear walking.
Oh, I got you. I know you, Robert.
Remember, I stood at the end of your driveway and said, I have free drinks. Don't shoot.
Yeah, no, I told Robert, I said, well, that's not creepy at all, because I was backing out of my driveway and there was a guy standing there with beer. I was like, well, that's not creepy at all.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, well, when I realized it was beer, I thought it was more awesome. And the beer was pretty good too, Robert. What's on your mind with the Super Bowl, man?
I did what you suggested about turning it off and not watching. The moment I realized they were going to have that second national anthem crap, I says, I was done. I wasn't going to watch any of it after that. If you had to play a national anthem other than the Star Spangled Banner, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I get real confused about why we need all of that. I mean, I feel like the original, the OG, really does it for me, and I don't need the rest of it. I think subdividing Americans is a bad thing. I think hyphenating Americans is a bad thing. I think if we want to unify ourselves under the banner of the flag and present ourselves as a freedom and liberty-loving society, we can all do that under the same flag and under the same Star Spangled Banner.
I also have a suggestion for NES. The technology's already been proven. They've just got to upscale it, but they ought to look back in Nikola Tesla's wireless energy transmission stuff. Then they wouldn't even need the wires. People just have to maintain reception towers at their houses. They wouldn't have to worry about power outage.
You know, Robert, you mentioned that, and thank you for the call. Robert mentions this. It occurred to me as I was doing unpacking at the new house, I had a big box full of coaxial cable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I need coaxial cable for now?
Nothing.
I mean, even if I hardwire with Ethernet.
Right.
So coaxial cable means, and I've got like yards of this stuff. Like I've got a couple of them that are like 50 feet each, because you used to have to do that. If you had to wire your house, you had to wire your house.
Yeah.
Now, nothing.
Yeah, well, and I charge my phone at night. I don't plug it into anything. I just set it down.
You got one of those little circular things? I want one of those.
It's kind of like it literally is like a little stand. You just set it on.
Like a little, do you got one of those little, what is that called, Jackson?
MagSafe.
Yeah?
It's the way I used to charge my phone.
It's the way to go, huh?
I like it.
Yeah? You got it right now? Can I borrow it?
No.
Why not?
I'm charging my phone.
Yeah, but I need to charge my phone.
If you had an Android, it just lasts longer.
If you got an Android, everyone laughs at you.
You know, every time I get into a multi-person group text with you, annoys the hell out of me because I can't edit.
It's annoying for my family, too, because they all have iPhones.
It's like you're here to annoy people.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's the fun part, right? When you point out to people, hey, remember like how you're all upset about everything and how you want the government to fix it? You know you're like a liberal, right? And then everybody gets upset.
Well, I mean, there's some of that going on right now. Let's, you know what I think we should do? I think we just should go straight into Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7. It's
Nincompoops in the News.
I mean, you know what's going on with the news, right? You've heard the big stories coming from Ken Weaver in the newsroom. You've heard Matt Murphy opine on said same. Now it's time to go all across the great state of Tennessee, the volunteer state, all across these United States of America, nay, the world, and find those nincompoops where they live and breathe. There's only one rule of Nincompoops in the News. Nobody gets to die.
I know you brought up a story to me that I've had on my desk, but is unusable in this sense.
The guy that stuck his head in the fryer?
Yeah, he died.
He died.
You stick your head in a deep fryer. Newsflash.
That's a way to do it. If anybody would like to send me a nincompoop in the news directly, you may do so because I don't currently have one.
Ooh, I get to pick the order today.
Well, if you pick me, then I'm just gonna pass.
It's a slow news cycle.
Then
if you pick me, I'm passing.
We are going Murphy.
I pass.
Smith.
Okay.
Actually, no, Murphy, Weaver, Smith, Williams.
All right. I am passing.
No, you can't pass. If you pass, you don't get it back. It's over. You're done.
No. I'm saying
you're just going to disqualify yourself.
I'm DQ'd. You're skipping me. I'm passing, recognizing that it will not come back to me, as I do not currently have a Nincompoops in the News. I have failed in my responsibilities. I have failed as a host. I have failed you as a member of this community.
And
I have
as a
failed
man.
you as I've failed all of you as a man. And I would like to. And I'm sorry for wearing this stupid orange shirt.
Go Vols.
Ken.
It's a rough day.
He could be a nincompoop.
You know what? I'm the nincompoop. I'm the nincompoop. I take it back.
No, because he's going to win. No.
I'm the nincompoop in the news because I do not have a nincompoop in the news. And I'm very sorry. And if you would like to vote for me, Matt Murphy, for nincompoop, you may do so. Jackson, you brought this on yourself because you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, they're all going to vote for you. Just go, Weaver.
They might vote for Weaver. They love how Weaver delivers. They love how Ken Weaver delivers a news story. They do.
I got this off the Daily Wire, boys. Or maybe, no, I'm sorry, the Daily Mail, the U.S. version. Humans fart twice as much as we thought. Study using smart underwear confirms the average person farts 32 times a day.
It's kind of light, if you ask me.
I'm above average.
Finally.
I got to get through this.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Scientists from the University of Maryland have developed smart underwear that records exactly how often someone passes wind. According to the first study, the average person lets one go 32 times a day compared to the 14 that doctors once considered normal. At the extreme end are the so-called hydrogen hyperproducers, whose unique guts produce 40 to 50 farts every day.
Jackson, you're a hyper producer.
You're a what we call a super pooper.
You're an executive producer.
Executive hyper producer.
The smart.
I'm going to put that in my email signature.
Okay.
Please do. Please do. Ken's having fun today.
Ken's just trying to get through it.
Ken's just desperately clinging to this story.
The smart underwear device is a small coin-sized gadget. It clips onto a normal pair of pants. In their trial,
I'm not putting a small coin-sized anything near there.
Especially after Jackson's story yesterday about the fellow with the chapstick.
Yep.
In their trial, over 80% of participants said that the device was comfortable, that they would be happy to wear it if advised to by a doctor. This research also helps scientists understand what is happening inside our guts. However, the team are now expanding the study into a nationwide research program dubbed the Human Flatus Atlas. Anyone over 18 and living in the U.S. can enroll in the study. And the lead doctor, by the name of Hall, will send them a smart underwear device to start recording their own fart data.
Do you have a link?
I think there was one in the story, but it didn't come over here to my script.
www.com.
www.trackyourfarts.org.
Yeah, look up University of Maryland fart study.
By the way, I have a story now, so I don't have to be the nincompoop.
No, you took a knee.
Anyway, my nincompoops of this story.
Uh-huh.
Whoever gave that university money to put a device on people's butts?
How much money would it cost you boys if somebody came to you? Or how much money would it cost if someone comes to you and says, hey, what's it going to cost me for you to wear these underwear that monitor how many times you fart a day?
Yeah, $20.
I mean, for the betterment of humanity? I mean,
you're going less than $20.
Are they comfortable?
It's just
according
your normal,
to the folks.
It's your normal underwear. You just put a little device on
You put a little device on there.
It's like wearing an Apple Watch, but on your butt.
By the way, can we just go around?
Instead of tracking your steps, it tracks your farts. It's like a Fitbit.
By the way, can we just go
around?
It's
a fart bit. Which is also what I'm doing right now.
That's a lot.
It just kind of kept on coming there.
Yeah, it was good, Jackson.
On a damn roll there.
I want to go see him at Zany's. I mean, that's pretty good, man.
Fitbit, fart bit, which is what I'm doing right now.
My gosh.
Yeah. I was just going to ask while we're talking about it. I'm a boxer briefs guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Samesies.
Yeah. I mean, I think the boxer briefs were.
I don't know if boxers are still a thing.
Like the Lucy's?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
you're not living right if you're living that way.
That's medieval.
You're all crammed in there. And don't even talk to me about tighty-whitey boys. I mean, come on.
Okay. I got it. Sidebar. I will tell you that my dad lived in a very fancy neighborhood in Brentwood. And he...
Fart bit.
He would wear cut-off camouflage T-shirts and tighty-whities and sometimes go get the mail.
Okay.
And that's how you knew that he was the real deal and just did not care.
Right.
And, so there is a case for tighty-whitey these days of, like, if you can rock that, more power to you.
Okay.
That's rough business.
That's
that's a bold adventure.
I'll tell you what, I just always felt like they kind of cut into you.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
I always figured you for, like, the Daniel Craig, like, booty shorts guy.
Did you know?
Yeah, I just thought that.
Mm-hmm.
I go for, like, the worst. Like, what if something horrible happens to me? I do not want the doctors or anyone else seeing tighty-whitey, so I go boxer briefs.
It's a good plan, Jason.
Yeah.
It's an old Bill Cosby bit.
I feel like
I thought that's what an accident was.
We've gone to some bad places.
First you say it, and then you do it.
This is
Cameron. Cameron, I think you're next.
This is like Bad Bunny. I mean, it's getting wild.
I know.
We got to watch out for Andy Ogles.
Yeah. Widespread fart jokes.
Yeah, everywhere.
Ogles is going to be all over us with the FCC.
Woo.
Did you do the Florida man McDonald's?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
The Florida man.
Florida man, obviously. He served double patties. A Florida man went on an unhinged tirade against a group of teens at a local McDonald's Saturday, allegedly hurling his soda at them before flashing his bare buttocks. All because he believed they were staring at him. William Heath, 47, wandered into the McDonald's restaurant in Gainesville, Florida, late Saturday night and became visibly agitated when he spotted a group of teenagers looking at him, and he has a Grizzly Adams beard. Heath stormed over to the gaggle who were seated in the dining area and sparked an argument. In the chaos, he allegedly chucked his soda at the group, dousing two of them in Dr. Pepper, according to the police report. Heath retreated into the parking lot, but the teenagers weren't far behind. He flopped down in a bush near the sidewalk and allegedly pretended the group had ganged up on him and shoved him into the bushes.
Oh, no.
A fake fall?
Heath then turned around and allegedly dropped his pants, exposing his bare bottom while spanking himself and caressing his left butt cheek.
Wait.
Awesome.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to visualize it, and I can't get it in my head.
Just stand up and do a recreation.
I don't think so.
Spanking himself and caressing his left butt cheek, but it gets better.
But he's spanking the right butt cheek and caressing the left, or
Probably.
is it doing both?
Probably. Now that I try not to think about it. A witness who watched the bizarre scene unfold from inside her car told police that she never saw the teenagers initiate any physical contact. She added that she overheard Heath claim they punched him, all while he was shouting obscenities about race and sexuality at the minors, according to the report. He confessed to the entire situation after being read his Miranda rights, which you can just be quiet, but no. He tried to defend himself by grousing that he felt the teens had upset and insulted him. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of simple battery and 2 counts of lewd and lascivious exhibition.
All right, I got to go quick.
Yeah, go.
Ex-Norristown officer charged with striking naked man with patrol car. It is not a necessary use of deadly force. A former Norristown, Pennsylvania police officer was arrested and charged about 1 week after officials said he struck a naked man with his patrol vehicle. Sergeant Daniel De Orizo, 52, is charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, official oppression, and recklessly endangering another person, Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele said in a news release. Steele said the Orzio striking the man amounted to deadly force and that this level of force did not match the circumstances of the incident. He was called to a scene at Stanbridge and West Erie Street on the morning of Wednesday, February 4th, where police said a naked man was standing in the intersection and blocking traffic. Police were notified that the man, later identified as Justin Rich, was screaming and damaging cars. Steele said after the first patrol car arrived on scene, Rich tried to open the doors but did not succeed. After De Orzio arrived on scene, he stopped behind a gray pickup truck that was in the travel lane. De Orzo then radioed to have officers order the truck to move out of the intersection. Once the truck moved, De Orzio accelerated his patrol vehicle and struck Rich, who went airborne and landed several feet away.
Yikes.
He was taken to a nearby hospital and left on February 6th.
Goodness.
He was last seen caressing his butt cheek.
Yeah, Cameron wins.
Left butt cheek.
Slapping the right one and caressing the left one.
The fake fall does it for me. Like, they're coming after you, jump into the bushes.
3449 said, big beard, excited for no reason, yelling at people, flopping into the bushes. Was this LeBron James?
Pretty checks out.
That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. You can pick Matt Murphy. You can pick Ken Weaver. You can pick Cameron Smith. Or you can pick Jackson Williams. One way or the other, we'll have a winner coming back at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for King & Associates Insurance. There was only one choice for me to make when it came to homeowners insurance, and that was King & Associates Insurance, because I know them. I know them to be a local company. I know that they work for you, not for the big insurance companies. They value their relationship with you. No pushy salespeople, just honest advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense. Now, I've been saying this for a while on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and now I've put my money where my proverbial mouth is by having King & Associates Insurance draw me up a homeowner's policy when I bought my new home in Mount Pleasant. And I added auto and saved big. Emery told me, he said, because we had some allegiance with our auto insurance company, and he said, listen, that allegiance should only go as far as your wallet. Let me run the numbers and see what I can do. Save me $300 on my auto insurance, $300. That's a significant amount of money that I saved thanks to King & Associates. They can save you, too. King & Associates Insurance. Call them today at 329-8121, 329-8121, or tkinginsurance.com. That's the letter T, kinginsurance.com. Protecting what matters most. King & Associates Insurance.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Metro Council urging the NES board to fire CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin after the massive winter storm response. A new resolution cites major communication failures and inaccurate restoration estimates as more than 230,000 customers lost power at the peak. Council members also criticizing NES for problems with its critical care registry for medically vulnerable residents. The NES board has final authority on leadership decisions and hasn't yet said how it will respond. Metro Council members pressed Nashville Electric Service last night during a committee meeting.
Will we get FAQs faster than we did this time? Will we get a briefing faster than we did this time?
Vice President of Operations Brent Baker defended his company.
It looked like the ice was going to be in Memphis. On Saturday, when that ice pattern shifted, we began making those calls. As the forecast showed, ice was headed directly to Nashville. We started making those calls, and as soon as Sunday morning, when those companies were able to release their crews, that's when they started mobilizing this direction.
They admitted communication fell short, but they say new protocols and earlier mobilization plans are now in place. Investigators searching for missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie say they found a black glove near her Tucson home. That glove closely matches the one worn by that masked abductor seen in doorbell camera footage. Authorities say the discovery could be a key piece of evidence in the case. The search for Guthrie continues as investigators analyze this new clue. Meanwhile, ABC News says it's learned the person who was detained was on law enforcement's radar before that video was released. We get more from ABC's Alex Stone.
He claims that he's just a delivery driver and that he was in the area because that's what he does for a job. So if it will pan out, we don't know. But at this point, he has not been completely ruled out, but it's looking less likely that he was involved.
Authorities say they're following up on 18,000 tips related to the case. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crash. Briley Parkway northbound at Opry Mills. In Antioch, a wreck. Murfreesboro Pike at Pinhook Road. In Murfreesboro, stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 24 eastbound before Church Street. In Laverne, we got a crash. Old Hickory Boulevard just south of Saddle Creek Way. And in Berry Hill, got a crash off on the right shoulder, 440 westbound before I-65. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello. Matt Murphy Show continues. It's just after 6 o'clock, 6:08 to be precise. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday edition, February the 11th. It is our episode 975. 975.
Oof.
We're 25 episodes away from 1,000.
Do you even know if I've hit 100 yet?
Oh, yeah, sure. You started, what, in July? August?
June. When did Chris leave? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I was doing double for a while.
I don't really remember what I was doing about an hour from now or ago. So
you're doing the radio show?
I don't remember what
you're talking about gyrating.
I don't remember what I'll be doing an hour from now.
I just can't get the phrase
widespread gyration.
Widespread widespread twerking.
Twerking.
Out of
it's
my
widespread. It's an epidemic.
My apologies.
The kids were forced to watch it, Matt.
It wasn't sporadic twerking. If it were sporadic twerking, be one thing. Yes, Jackson.
I feel like other halftime shows were worse about it.
Yeah. I mean, I have not seen the halftime show, and so I cannot remember the last time I watched. No, I watched The Weeknd.
The Weeknd was great. I like The Weeknd a lot.
I thought it was weird. I mean, I just remember him walking through tunnels of light.
The mirror room thing.
Sure.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite artists. I really like him.
Of course, Jackson also likes The Rookie, which is a crappy show.
You ever seen that show, Cameron?
Yeah, The Rookie, the movie.
No, the TV show.
No, you're thinking of the
baseball movie's great too.
The baseball movie's good.
Yeah.
This is who stars in it? Who's that
Nathan
guy?
Fillion.
What's his name?
Nathan Fillion.
He's in the Superman.
He is.
Yeah, he was in the Superman.
What was his character?
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern in the Superman movie?
Or Green Hornet.
He's a cop that's about your age, but he joined when he was about your age.
I saw the Superman movie, and I felt like you did about it. Like, I wasn't upset, but it was great.
It didn't bother me, but it didn't
do much for me.
Didn't do a lot. I like the dog parts.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm a dog guy.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't all that, but it didn't annoy me either.
Yes. For some unknown reason, I left my wife unattended, and a 3.5-pound puppy returned home with her.
Ooh.
Yes. So
when did this happen? You're burying the lead.
Yeah. This was about 2 weeks ago.
What?
Daisy Opal has joined the Smith family, and she is, I don't know how to say this, a terrorist. And so we can't leave her unattended because she's a puppy. So this morning I was taking a shower, getting ready to go to work, and my family decided, you know what? You need to watch her. So they just rolled Miss Daisy into the bathroom. And you know what's funny? My shower doesn't have a door. It's like one of those that you kind of walk around.
Yeah, sure.
And Daisy decided, hey, this looks fun. And so I'm showering, got soap in my hair, all that stuff.
And you look down and there's
a dog looking at me like, what's up?
What's going on, bro?
And so, yeah, we're dealing.
That's very cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Dog stuff everywhere.
The one thing that I didn't, talking about the Superman movie, the one memory that I have is that, it was fine. I mean, the CGI doesn't bother me nearly as much as it used to because they've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
What I didn't like, and it's the problem with Superman, and I think they tried to overcorrect. The problem with the Superman narrative and the Superman as a superhero is that Superman is undefeatable.
Right.
That Superman cannot be beaten.
Right.
And so I feel like they went kind of too much the other way, and the entire movie was Superman getting the crap beat out of him.
It was really funny.
You know what I mean?
Well, he is just getting his brains beat in
getting destroyed.
for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and there was
from start to finish.
A lot of drugs were taken in making that. They were like, okay. So what if Kryptonite is a character in an alternate universe?
Yes, it is.
And that if you fall in the river, you get pixelated.
Boom.
And somebody thought that was like worth
gold, Jerry. Gold.
Yeah. I don't know. Today has just been a weird day with widespread twerking, the outrage still over Bad Bunny, and then, the Pam Bondi meltdown. That was neat.
I want to talk to you about Pam Bondi, but I can't get away from this. My favorite line in Superman was toward the end when they had repaired his robot.
Yes.
And he said, what can I do for you, number 4? He goes, well, no, he said, what was the line? Because
I'd like a name.
I'd like a name. And he goes, how about
Four's a name.
Four's a name. I was hoping Gary.
He said, so is Gary.
So is Gary.
I'm like, okay, that's pretty good.
That's pretty funny. I did not see a lot of the Pam Bondi testimony. I do not think it is a sexist comment that I'm about to make. So y'all just hit record on your devices. I'm about to say something sexist. It does not land the same when women get all angry in these things. It does not land the same, and I don't think it's a good look for anybody to get angry/defensive. I think it's a much better look, and this is coming from a guy that yells for a living. I yell way too much. I yell more than I should. I yell at my friends. I yell at my enemies. I yell at everybody on the radio.
He yells at me.
I yell at Jackson. Speaking of enemies, it's not a good look to get defensive and get yelly. I think it's a much better look when others are screaming at you to get calmer, to get more measured, to be
the contrast matters.
Be the adult in the room, and that juxtaposition would have served Pam Bondi well. I don't think Pam Bondi was a good hire. I am appreciative of Donald Trump's cabinet on the whole. I'm not happy with her as Attorney General. What do you say?
Yeah, I don't think she's a very good lawyer. I mean, that's part of the problem here is that when you say things that are facially unconstitutional regularly, I kind of am like, you're maybe not the most qualified for this. And I'm not saying that she hasn't had a good career in other areas, but it feels sort of half-baked, Like maybe not ready for prime time. Like, okay, cool. Like in other capacities, sure. But to be the top attorney for the United States and then sort of mangle things and have to walk them back. And, I mean, to watch Massey go back and forth with her and just basically say, like, she walked into it several times when one of the things was, she came after him, was like, you're a failed politician, a hypocrite.
Whatever.
And he was like, she said Wexner, who's one of the folks whose name was redacted, was added back in, and she said, within 40 minutes. And he said, within 40 minutes, me catching you red-handed. And so it's not looking good for the administration with respect to the Epstein stuff. And this is such an unforced error. And I've said this repeatedly, that on this type of stuff, you're giving an issue that doesn't need to be an issue because you could have just been transparent. But like the reason she needs to be fired, and I don't call for people's firings usually, is the fact that she said to everybody, yes, this is all of the Epstein files, and then comes back after a law is passed and says, I found another 3 million, 3 million pages of files. Well, okay.
Like, how much crap did we have on this guy? I don't understand. I mean, 3 million on top of the 2. We had over 5 million pieces of information on a guy.
A lot of it is nothing, but yeah. I mean, the problem is, and Massey has pointed this out repeatedly, and so has Ro Khanna, that this investigation spanned decades. Well, again, did y'all hear about the other folks indicted in the Epstein stuff?
Nope.
Nope.
So here's what I would say. One, I agree with you on Bondi. I don't think there's a win for the Trump administration in this, because if you dump it all, you're going to be accused of victim shaming,
right,
and exposing victims. When you start redacting, you're going to be accused of selective redaction. And then even if you believe the Trump administration in that some of these redactions were accidental in nature, then you look hopeless. You look helpless. You look ridiculous because you don't seem to be able to do what you ought to be able to do. All of that said, don't you think Thomas Massey wasn't screaming about this during the Biden administration. Why not?
It's a fair question.
I mean, the Democrats sure as heck weren't.
And the Biden administration didn't come out with notebooks saying Epstein Files Part 1.
I agree, and one of that is Exhibit A why Pam Bondi should be packing, right? I mean, because she has been ridiculous in her response to all of this. Number two, and I go back to this and I can't help. Thomas Massey is now saying that he's about to name names, right?
Yeah.
When is he doing that? Why hasn't he already done it?
I disagree with him on this entirely because go to the floor of the House of Representatives and name the names. Like, do it.
Nobody can do anything to you.
Right. And
you are immune from prosecution.
And this is the one thing that gets folks when they start saying things with certainty. If you're certain, say it. Because you have a defensible position. If you're not super sure or not exactly sure what's under the redacted stuff, then you don't. And so I just find it incredibly improbable that we knew this happened, and it happened for a long time, and there are exactly 2 people that are implicated criminally. Like that's just that defies logic.
I have said for a while now too that I do not believe that this criminal enterprise was nearly of the scope and scale that many people have suggested that it was. At the same time, I'm certain that there are very powerful people that do not want to be exposed on whatever level, maybe even not a criminal level, but do not want to be exposed, that are doing everything in their power to prevent that. But we've gotten to a point where it's like that Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at everybody else and everybody says, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy. Everybody claims that they know the names. Like a bunch of people are claiming the government knows the names. And Thomas Massey claims he knows names. And now we have victims stepping forward saying they know names. And everyone is asking the same question. Why aren't you naming your names? Well, I'm just getting a little sick of it. I mean, if you know names, tell me. And some people say, well, if you do that, you'll get sued. So what? For the victims in these cases, which I feel for them, and my heart goes out to them, and they've been roughed up, but they're the ones stepping forward and making their faces and their names public.
Yeah.
I'm not. They say they know names. Well, name them. Well, they'll get sued. There are multi-millionaires that have guaranteed that they will pay for any defense. And, Cameron, tell me if I'm wrong. If you sue me for defamation,
yes,
are you not opening yourself up to discovery?
Yeah.
So you're telling me an accused pedo is going to sue me. I'm telling the truth. I know what they did. They're going to sue me and open themselves up to discovery? I don't think so.
No. A lot of this stuff feels ick to me because I absolutely have maintained transparency. Where I got fed up was when we saw those notebooks and then it was like, it's a nothing burger, move along. No. Like, you can't make it a show and then say, no, nothing to see here because it just looks suspicious. And I'll tell you, where Bondi really went wrong, Trump can Trump, okay? He is unique. He is authentic. You don't have to like him, but he does what he does in a very authentic fashion. When she called Jamie Raskin, who's the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, or the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, she said, you're a washed-up loser lawyer. You're not even a lawyer.
It lands.
It's different.
Trump doing those types of things is authentic to who he is.
Right.
When others try to emulate it, it is pretty obvious that that's what they're trying to do, and it lands fake.
And it's not just the female thing. It is everyone, the other politicians that try to be Trumpy, like, I'm gonna get engaged in fisticuffs. I'm like, you're a weirdo. Like, Trump, hey, look, Trump's weird, but he's been consistently the same, which is kind of a strange thing to say.
A good example of that, the one that I think of is Chris Christie, right?
Yes.
In 2016, Chris Christie tried to out-Trump Trump, and Trump destroyed him. And then suddenly there's an image of Trump standing on stage and Chris Christie in a subservient role standing behind him, basically saying, I'm so sorry that I tried to out-Trump Trump.
Right. And Trump, to his credit, for all his faults, is consistent. You can say he's consistently terrible. You can say he's consistently wonderful, but he is consistent. He has not changed since we saw him coming down that escalator.
1502 says they aren't worried about being sued. They're worried about being taken out. If they're worried about being taken out, then why are they
Then
publicly?
you wouldn't say it in the first place.
You wouldn't say it in the first place. That doesn't strike me as something that is real.
Yeah.
Now, no, don't get me wrong, 1502. I understand that we're talking about very serious allegations, and I understand that very, very powerful people would do awful things. I'm not suggesting that those types of things don't go on. I'm suggesting if that was your concern, then you would not step forward into the limelight in the first place.
Yeah. And
demand. So if I'm a victim of a very high profile accused pedo and that person knows I'm the victim, they're not confused by that.
Right.
Then if I step forward and I show my face, then you would create that dynamic by which they would be taken out without even naming the name. So,
right. I mean,
I don't. At this point, no one's going to be satisfied, though, Cameron. No one.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also have the Commerce Secretary, Lutnick, on this stuff getting roped in and saying, oh, I didn't do any of this stuff. I didn't connect. And you're like, well, I met with him twice. I mean,
that's the problem when you shoot your mouth off to a podcaster and say definitive crap that is a lie.
Yes.
And now it's the Nixon doctrine. It's not what you did.
It's the cover-up.
It's the cover-up of what you did that's going to get you fired or at least get you into hot water.
Yes, because he said he had decided to never be in the room. Well, that was a lie.
Right. And you decided to go with your nannies. That's also, with your nannies. He said nannies, plural, Cameron. Plural nannies. Yeah. It's 4 kids, multiple nannies, and a mother for the 4 kids, which is also a little bit of a weird look. It's 24 after the hour, Superdog 99.7 WTN. Your thoughts on any of this? Stephen, we'll get to you. Stephen been holding for way too long. Stephen, I'll get to you on the Super Bowl right after this. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Savory Spice. Savory Spice is a locally owned spice shop in Franklin, Tennessee, just off the square in Franklin. Holly and David own Savory Spice. Now, you walk in, odds are you'll see Holly behind the well, there's not really counters. They walk all over. They mingle with their customers. They help them select spices and delicious flavorings for any and all of your cooking needs. They've got the Spice and Easy line. They've got gift-giving ideas. They've got various products. They've got some delicious syrup. I love it. Absolutely love it. The sparkle syrup is special for the holidays, but they've got some delicious syrup all the year. The Run-A-Muck syrup is so good. I would also strongly recommend the salt and pepper blend. Ask Holly about that when you stop by. They've got various seasonings that are unique to Savory Spice. In other words, they do them right there in shop, and they sell them in shop, and you can get them nowhere else. Plus, all of the flavors that you need to restock your cupboard can be found at Savory Spice. I love to tell you that you up your food game by upping your spice game, and it's true. You up your spice game at the one and only Savory Spice. Located just off the square in Franklin. Stop by, see them, and tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice. USS stands for United Structural Systems. What does USS do? They come give you peace of mind. I mean, that's the bottom line, really. They do that through offering you assistance when it comes to foundation repair, waterproofing issues in your home. Now, if you don't know, you don't know. But that's okay, because USS is welcoming you to give them a call. They'll come out to your home. I mean, Tennessee was hard hit by severe weather last month. Communities across Tennessee want to rebuild from flooded homes to storm-damaged places, infrastructure weakened by the snow and the ice, and USS is here to help. So they want to come to your home and give you that peace of mind. It might be that they say, you know what, you're doing good here. I asked the team. Nate came out to my house the other day with USS to give me a thumbs up, to give me a check. And I asked him, I said, what is the most common reason that people call you? And he said, smells. He said people smell weird smells in their home even before they see moisture or water. They smell the weirdness because, sadly, foundation issues are oftentimes not seen at first, and then the water creeps in, and then you start smelling the musty and the moldy and the mildewy. USS doesn't just fix structures. They help restore stability, safety, and give you peace of mind. So, once again, USS is not out to upsell you on anything. They're out to give you that peace of mind, and it's best to catch something early when it comes to the foundation of your home. So I encourage you to contact USS. Go online to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com for all of your waterproofing and foundation repair needs. There's only one that I would recommend. It's USS. Super Talk 99.7 WTN got a big winner for Nincompoops in the news today. This is breaking. Can I get a breaking news horn, please, Jackson Williams? A breaking news horn for our Nincompoops in the news winner. Mm-hmm.
Is it me?
It is not you, Jackson.
Oh, then I take my horn back.
And it's not me.
I don't want to hear about his horn.
And it's not Cameron.
It was close.
It was Ken Weaver.
Of course it's Weaver.
I'm Ken Weaver. And I'm
Not
the big
even here
winner.
anymore.
No, he's already left. I don't blame him. Last newscast, outie. I mean, we leave after we're done, so. Well, I do.
Sometimes we leave before we're done.
Well, today might be one of those days.
That's very strange.
Way to go, Weaver. So that's 1 for Murphy, 1 for Weaver, and 1 for Jackson. And we've got 2 big days to go. Tomorrow's show, don't forget, at T-Line. That is, what is, I'm going to ask a stupid question.
Okay.
What is T-Line?
It's a curling place.
Is it exclusively a curling place? But that was the nature of my question. Is it exclusively curling, or is it just skating, generally speaking?
From what I am understanding, it is like Top Golf with curling.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm all in on that.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. You should come out. Bring the kids.
What time is it?
All day. We'll be there from 3 until 7.
I'll be there from noon to 7.
Jackson will be there from noon until 7. He'll be the on-field producer for Chad Benson and the Matt Murphy Show, of course. And we'll be doing some curling.
Can you curl Jackson? Like slide him down the ice?
Yes.
Okay.
There will be a point where I am sliding down the ice.
Okay. That's good. I do see it doesn't look like regular. Maybe it is regular bowling. It looks like that mini bowling. Have you ever done that?
I've heard it's regular bowling.
Yeah.
I've been told.
Yeah. You've been told.
Yes.
That it's more than just candlepin bowling. You know what candlepin bowling is, Jackson?
It's where you bowl with candle pins.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yes.
Pretty self-exclamatory there, Einstein.
Stephen has been holding for way too long, and I apologize, Stephen. The floor is yours, and you can take as much time as you'd like.
Thank you, sir. No, you guys asked earlier, talking about the halftime show stuff, and somebody in there was asking, how did this even happen? Well, I reached down into my answer bucket, and I found the answer for you.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you know who Jay-Z is, right? The rapper from New York?
I'm familiar, yes.
Who?
Okay. So Jay-Z is the NFL's official live music entertainment strategist. Now, he's got a partnership with the NFL through his company called Rock Nation, and the league, they initiated this partnership in 2019, in August of 2019. What he does, he advises on the Super Bowl halftime performances, and he drives the NFL's, in quotations, inspire change social justice initiative. So there you go. And I did a little more digging, and I found out, there's only 5 musicians.
The old ICSJ.
Yeah. And there's only 5 musicians who have achieved billionaire status, and this list is not going to surprise you.
Oh, wait, can we, no, hold on. Can we guess? Do you have it? You have the list?
I have the list.
Okay, I want to guess. All right, the 5 musicians that have achieved billionaire status. Billionaire status. Okay, Taylor Swift.
Yep, she's one.
Obviously, Jay-Z's one of them.
Jay-Z's on the list.
Jay-Z's
Man,
the top.
I would say, is P. Diddy there?
Mm.
Kanye.
No,
It's got to be
P.
Kanye.
Diddy.
Paul McCartney.
No.
Michael Jackson?
No. He's dead.
Well, his estate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think of socialists.
Bruce Springsteen.
There you go. He's in there.
He was kidding. You were kidding. You got it right.
He's in there.
All right. Who's the other 2?
You got Beyonce and Rihanna.
Okay.
Should have known Beyonce.
Yeah, should have
And now
guessed.
Rihanna, I kind of like Rihanna better than all the rest, but I don't think she's as an extreme as Jay-Z and Beyonce and all the rest. But
What's your favorite Rihanna song?
Didn't Rihanna do S&M?
Bulletproof.
Look up Rihanna S&M. I think she did a song called S&M. I don't know what that stands
she did
for,
a
but
great performance in 2014.
She did
At the concert for Valor. The song Bulletproof. It was really good.
Paul McCartney's net worth is estimated to be, as of 2024, $1.3 billion. Boom!
Well, Jay-Z is 2.5, but this came from Forbes. This is a Forbes report anyway, so they've all amassed fortunes, but they're all kind of connected to the whole thing, this whole inspire change, social justice. So it's just going to tell you, it's not going to get any better. These halftime shows, they're not going to get any better. And I don't know how it's going to change unless Jay-Z gets outed somehow, or maybe they just decide we're not going to do music performances for halftime anymore. Let's do.
Well, he doesn't need the money.
Yeah. And Bad Bunny, the culture of the Puerto Rico and the cross-dressing and whatever all that is, that's not going to make anybody see the halftime show, and they're not going to say, especially football fans, they're not going to watch that and go, oh, we're going to change now because we've been inspired. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm concerned because Matt Murphy, I'm looking at the lyrics to S&M, Sticks and Stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me.
It's a great song.
I mean, wow.
It's a great song. I have it on my playlist.
There was also a video, a reporter asked each and every single player for the Seattle Seahawks, and not a single one had even heard or supported or knew anything about Bad Bunny. So that just goes to show you.
No, but Stephen, Bad Bunny is not for people who play or follow football, right?
No, it's to inspire change. That's what it's for, and it shouldn't be in the NFL.
Well, the reason the NFL's doing it.
Hamburger eating contest or something. Let's watch something fun.
But those people already watch the NFL.
Can we not go into this crazy utopian, fruitopian dream of all these crazy idiots? And can we just?
All right, let's play a little experiment, Stephen.
What?
Who was the halftime show last year?
Last
Don't
year.
look at your phone.
Let's see. No, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm just trying to remember who was there last year. I'm trying to remember the teams. Wasn't it the
Eagles and Chiefs?
It was the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Eagles and Chiefs.
And the Chiefs, yeah. And wasn't it the Weeknd?
It was not. It's Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. Okay, yeah.
Should we even go any further? You see, I don't think people will remember who this halftime show was. The only reason that anyone's talking about it is to complain about it at this point. And I don't think people are going to remember who this halftime show was 3 months from now.
They won't. It's just kind of weird.
It won't. I said Monday, I don't understand why we expend the emotional energy that we're expending complaining about something that we can simply turn off.
Yeah. If you want to inspire change, go inspire change, but don't do it during the halftime.
And by the way, and for those saying, oh, but you're exposing my, if you don't think your kids are going to get exposed to things on this planet Earth that you don't approve of, you are fooling yourselves. But you have an opportunity as a parent to teach those children the differences between right and wrong and morals as you believe them and immoral behavior as presented by the halftime show. You have an opportunity at that point.
But this is go ahead.
That is the worst and the most important part of all of it, because to accept it is one thing, but to promote it is completely on a whole nother level, man.
But it's not, because I could tell. I'm going to push back on you, Stephen, because the truth is this is about FOMO. This is people being upset and other people being upset, and it's a big performance because at the end of the day, I could literally tell people, can you believe the lyrics of that Inigo Montoya song at the Super Bowl halftime show? And I can tell you there would be plenty of people who would respond and be like, it was awful. I just hate what's happening to our culture. Inigo Montoya was from The Princess Bride. Did not perform at the halftime show. But yet people will just say, hey, because they don't want to be left out of the conversation, and this is what we're talking about.
Well, Sally is disagreeing with us. She says that they will remember this halftime show 6 months and 8 months from now because the idiot Andy Ogles is demanding a congressional hearing, and he won't shut up about it.
That's pretty good.
Look, as far as it all goes with the Hispanic version and the Spanish and all that, I guarantee you 90% of the Hispanics and Spanish-speaking people in this country and probably in this world, they don't console with that. They don't agree with that. They don't want to see that kind of stuff promoted either because of the little children and the future that's watching.
You do realize, like, all of Latin dancing is, like, very sexy, right? You know that.
Oh, it is. But it's not It's not what we saw.
What?
That's not that what we saw was, and what anybody knows about.
Well, then who's downloading Bad Bunny's music, because he's the most downloaded artist like in the world?
A bunch of lost puppies is what I would say.
You mean Hispanic speaking lost puppies, Spanish speaking lost puppies? I mean, you just said 98% of the Spanish speaking world doesn't agree with it. I disagree. I think.
Well, maybe it's not 90 then. You probably fact check me on that. I'm just saying, but the ones that I know, Puerto Ricans from like New Jersey, New York areas, and places like that, they're not about it. And if you watch a lot of comments and views and videos on the internet, on YouTube and things, they're not about it either. So it's not good, man.
Dude, that's just not true. Like every Puerto Rican I know loves Bad Bunny because he's their homeboy. Like Puerto Rico.
I'll tell you, man.
So, Stephen, what do you think when Nashville, Tennessee scores our Super Bowl in 2030?
30,
you think? You think we'll get it? 2030. When we score our Super Bowl 4 years from now.
There's no way that they're. No, Jay-Z's if Jay-Z's still in charge, I don't even know if he'll still be connected by then, but they're probably going to lose money, and he's probably going to go somewhere else with his antics. But there's going to definitely, if it comes to Nashville, it's going to be country music. It's going to have to.
Who's it going to be, though?
Morganwall.
Who knows?
Or something like that.
Probably Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Or
No,
like that.
hold on a second. You said it was going to be country music.
Well, he is a little bit.
A little bit?
I don't know if he's country or not.
Yeah, he's a little.
I vote Shabuzi.
He's going through a phase. He's doing good.
Okay.
Stephen, great call, man. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah. It won't be country music.
I think
it won't be country music.
We've hit on one of the issues that most good old boys have is that we never get ours. Now, maybe you can argue that we got ours back in the day of Carol Channing and marching bands or whatever, but it doesn't seem like it's not a shared playing field anymore where, you know, we have an eclectic mix of different types of music represented and the spirit is represented on.
Yeah.
They've got you, though, because they've got you. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So this is a silly point because who watches Bad Bunny and is like, you know what? I love the Titans.
Exactly.
Like that just does not follow. I get it because marketing people say, well, you need to reach this demographic and they are not your, you know, the demographic that will always show up to the NFL. But we should reach them. I'm like, okay. But like we saw a very interesting artistic thing about Puerto Rico. I'm sure every Puerto Rican turned in and I can't imagine any of them are like, love Bad Bunny, but man, Drake May, he's doing it for me.
No, well, he wasn't doing it for anybody on Sunday night, but it's just.
I don't understand the people that they claim tune in for the music and stay for the football next year.
Yeah.
I don't understand who those people are.
Like when the internet happened, I didn't have to watch anymore because the commercials were everywhere.
Right.
Commercials were great. Do you see Neil Diamond?
I like the AI that responded with ads. It was a Chat GPT or somebody did it, and it was, you know, teach me how to do a pull up, and then they were like, you can get these platform shoes. I'm like, that's funny.
Neil Diamond was pretty good too. It was Andy Samberg as Neil Diamond. He was Meal Diamond, and he was like a sad sack that was stuck in a restaurant and giving people Hellman's mayonnaise.
Singing Sweet Caroline.
And speak, yes, that thing. It's 52 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6256 has written in and said, I'd rather hear a chorus of 50 farting 32 times in unison than have to suffer through Bad Bunny. Well, we can make that happen. More on that coming up in just a moment. Right now, I do want to tell you about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. The Wellness Institute offers you pain-free living. Folks, I don't have to oversell this because it is what it is, that if you're in pain, if you're suffering from debilitating back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip pain, wherever it hurts, if it's hurting every day, if you have trouble going to sleep at night, if it hurts in the morning, if it hurts in the middle of the day, then I can understand that because I've been there, and I understand why you'd want to pop some pills to alleviate the pain or even take a pain block through a needle or perhaps even consider surgery. Do not consider any of these things until you go to see Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They've been providing pain-free living in a natural way for a long time now, and you could be the next success story at the Wellness Institute. They have the brand new HydroWave technology, which is incredible. It advances healing by using your very own stem cells in your body to regenerate tissues, to grow new blood vessels through a healing process called angiogenesis. Friends, it's one of the many ways that they help accelerate healing in your body and prevent the pain from coming back time and time again. 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're watching and monitoring this awful mass shooting out of Canada. A young male, biological male, who considered himself female, has killed multiple people in Canada. This happened earlier today, and it's just an awful story, and we're monitoring that story. Was not able to get to it today. I'm also remiss in that we did not get to the jobs report. Jobs report, by the way, all of you folks predicting economic calamity and recession in the first part of 2026, what about all that? I don't think that's going to happen. Looks like not you. I'm not talking about you. You looked at me like you thought I was talking about you.
No.
But, economy's looking.
I still want the Supreme Court to decide on tariffs. Like, come on, guys. Can't take that long to make up your mind.
They're working it out. They're figuring it out.
Slowpokes.
But, the economy moving right along. Jobs report pretty good. Unemployment rate pretty low. Hey, for Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, for Cameron Smith, thank you, Cameron. We'll be back tomorrow live from T-Line. We invite you to be there with us. Until then, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.